And we are live. Anybody that's coming in, thank you so much for stopping in to Mr. Hot Takes first ever live stream on YouTube. Today, joining me, I have Mr. Shay Rance.
Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I also have Flet's Movie and Pop Culture 13. Welcome in, sir.
Thanks for having me, man. This is an honor to be on your very first live stream, and it's been awesome to get to know you guys. It's going to be awesome fun tonight. You guys are two phenomenal content creators, so it's going to be a lot of fun.
Absolutely, man. So, for anybody joining us today, what we're going to be doing is we all three made 31 on 31. It was actually 32 movies that we ranked. That is modern horror icons. You can actually find those videos down in the description if you want to check those out. But today we're going to go, this is the debrief. We're going to be talking about the aggregated scores, where everybody kind of came in on each of the movies, and probably having some arguments about placements. Sound fun to y'all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So we might as well just get into it. Let me pull these up here. And coming in at number 32, which to no one's surprise is Saw 5. I gave it the 31 placement. Flet gave it 30, and Shay gave it 32. I don't know if there's much to say else about this movie. So why did y'all rank it so low?
Well, I mean, I'll start, I guess. I just found it kind of boring. Like, it's still got the gore, but like, it's just mainly gore. Like, plus, as much as I love the Hoffmanator, Hoffman was kind of dull in this movie as well. I just found the whole like thing in the like traps and everything kind of boring as well.
I get that. What about you, Flet?
It's a boring movie, and the way the lighting is shot, it feels like a TV movie too. The way it looks as well.
Hey,
so,
absolutely.
Yeah, and it's bad writing. I think it's bad acting. It's not one. It doesn't match the Saw movies that came before it, and it's not the direction I would have took it. So yeah, Saw 5 is definitely one of the worst in the franchise for sure.
The reason why I ranked it so low is it's one of the only ones that almost doesn't focus at all on the traps. There's very little time spent on the traps, and it's trying to set up Hoffman's character, which already I don't like that they spent so much time on that, and then the character ended up sucking, which, in Saw 4, there was still like this promise of, oh, damn, so that's who the new Jigsaw is going to be. Okay. But we don't really know much about him at the end of 4. All we know is just the reveal, and so it was almost a double disappointment. So you ended up getting more of Hoffman than you do the traps, and then Hoffman sucks. And then the traps are just over so quickly in that movie that there's no time to really enjoy the carnage that Saw is all about.
Yeah.
That was my issue with the film.
I just realized I should have had this at 31, but oh well. Switch around. Whatever.
We all make mistakes, man.
Yeah, I just realized that looking at my list that I had. Whatever.
It's all good. So, all right, we'll move on to number 31. And this is a movie that this is the first big discrepancy even between the three of us is ended up being Hatchet 3. And so I had it at 32. It was my lowest ranked movie. Flet had it at 23, and Shay had it at 31. So me and Shay were like, on this movie. But Flet, I know you really enjoy the Hatchet films, so I'm gonna let you talk first and kind of.
Well,
Still,
Well, yeah, when I'm ranking the Hatchet, I enjoy all the Hatchet films, even though Hatchet 3 would be the last at the ranking. I had above a few other movies, but Hatchet 3, I still think Hatchet 3, I still think it's the best makeup look for him. But but it does has its problems though. Danielle's handcuffed for most of the movie, which is just horrible. But you do get a funny cameo from Sid Haig, which is just hilarious. Because it's almost like this Captain Spaulding retired coming in there saying all those lines. That
Right.
cop with the cop. I got no chicken. It was so cool that Derek Mears was in there. You played Jason right in the remake. But I wish the fight scene between him and Kane was longer. It just looked like I know his character was an asshole throughout the whole entire movie at that point. But there were some cool kills, but it definitely is the weakest. But I had only higher because this other such movies were lower for me. But Hatchet 3, it does end the trilogy like on a decent note, but I'm happy we got the fourth film. Thank goodness. For sure. But yeah, Hatchet 3 still has some cool kills though. I will say that.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. All right, Shay. So why'd you put it at 30, 32? No, 31. Sorry.
31.
Well, I found the acting kind of bad. Plus just like the general dialogue, but like I kind of find that throughout the whole of this franchise, just the dialogue is really bad.
I agree.
But I do agree that the look for him is cool in this movie.
Mm. No, absolutely. So this was the biggest issue I had just with the Hatchet films in general. And I do want to go ahead and say shout out to Sip and Ice and Ryan Olachow for joining us. Thank you so much. But so my very first time watching the Hatchet franchise was whenever I kind of started on this endeavor of wanting to make a YouTube channel about horror movies. And now that I've been exposed to just so much, especially like indie films, so many indie films now, the rewatch of the Hatchet films was really hard for me to get through. They ended up, it wasn't the same amount of enjoyment the first time that I watched them. And I just kind of got like, oh, damn, these aren't as good as I remember them being even just 2 years ago, and Hatchet 3 was the hardest one to watch. The dialogue is so bad. It doesn't have as many like your main characters in it aren't as interesting. The kills are great. The kills are great in all 4 movies. I will say that. It's just if they could get somebody to write some better dialogue for these films, I think that'd be a lot better.
Yeah.
For sure. Because I know Adam still wants to do 5 and 6 at some point.
But all right. Moving on to number 30. Ended up being Saw 3, which I had at 30. Flet had it 31, and Shay had it 17. So Shay, why'd you have it so high?
I mean, I think it's a pretty decent end for the Saw first trilogy. If they were gonna end it there, I'd say it would be a good end for them to end it with John Kramer dying. But I do kind of find it stupid how they did kill him though in this one, because it's so obvious that they regretted the decision afterwards. It's so obvious every movie after they wanted to bring him back.
Right.
I'd say my only issue with it is just Jeff. He is so boring as a protagonist.
Oh my god. It was.
Yeah. I agree on that.
He is just drags on.
Yeah. So Flet, why'd you have this at number 31, man.
Saw 3, I will say this, I still think this is one of Shawnee Smith's best performances as Amanda. She definitely highlight of the movie.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I know Jigsaw was dying, but me and I shot him 6 times has this theory how that he could have faked his death in that scene.
Yeah.
I still think it was such a cheap way to kill him off to begin with. I know he was having cancer, but he's a smart person. He can make a mechanical person himself. That's just a theory of ours. Just saying. Yeah, Jeff is horrible. I will say this. There's that one trap, though, that meat trap, but when the girl gets frozen. That's
yeah.
That's very horrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's some decent traps. But I just thought it was kind of a little bit of a step down compared to the first 2 Saws, just the way I saw it. But
I see what you did there. No,
yeah, I didn't mean to say it like that. That just happened to stop it. This is not
the way I saw it.
I know we're talking about Saw, and I said it that way. And hey, her in the chat. Welcome to chat.
Hey, her.
Yeah,
welcome,
I just
welcome.
thought it's not the way. If I'm gonna take John Kramer, it's not the way I would have took him out. Anyway.
So here's my take on Saw 3. You have like the most boring protagonist in any Saw film. Yeah. You have Jigsaw like barely being able to like move and speak because he's dying. You have traps that are okay, but they don't do, they don't push the buck any more than it, did in the past. They're okay though, but there's nothing in that movie that draws me in and goes, okay, I enjoy what's going on here. And then you have the movie that almost destroyed the franchise because they killed John Kramer. And that just pisses me off even more whenever I stop and think about it, and it's it would have been okay if they could have followed through with another Jigsaw that was just as intriguing as John Kramer, but they just really didn't. And I would have enjoyed having John Kramer, like if they had the movies that they made like with all the same traps, but you had John Kramer in like 4, 5, 6, 7, like doing those things to those people, but with, his dialogue and his mannerisms and like speaking to these people, those movies would have been like so much better. All of them would have been so much better. But that's how I feel about Saw 3.
You like
Yeah.
You want to play a game?
Yep. I can just see you doing that.
You want to play a game? So we're going to number 29. Our aggregated list ended up being Sinister 2, which I had at 14. No, that's Sinister 1. I had it 19. Flet had it 32, and Shay had it 25. Now, I don't know how this movie could possibly be worse than Saw 5, but tell us about it, Flet.
Sinister 2. I thought it was not the same par as the first one. It was a step down from the first one. It was bad writing, bad direction. I don't think it was as scary as it was. Not the sequel I would have went with. And I did not enjoy it at all. Especially the first one being one of the scariest, creepiest movies of the 2010s. Sinister 2 was not on par as the first one. It's not the direction I would have took with it. Very bad writing. And it wasn't scary or creepy to me. So I did not enjoy it at all. So
Yeah.
All right, Shay. Why did you put it at 25, sir?
Well, I mean, I don't think it is as bad as Kyle said, but like, it's not good either. I love the original Sinister. I just bought it on DVD. It should come this week, but I think the second one is such a far step down. But I do like Deputy So and So. I think his actor's great. And I love seeing me some Bagul. You know, Bagul is sick. He looks like a Slipknot mask, but a real guy.
What about
So
the all the little short videos that get played?
I can't really remember them, to be honest, but I like Bagul.
I got you. Well, so the reason why I had it at number 19, which is middle of the pack, you know, it doesn't actually come from the movie being good. It just like I said in my ranking video, it's because it has a special place to me because I wasn't a hardcore like enjoyer of the horror genre. But my girlfriend was like, the new Sinister movie's out. We need to go see it. I loved the first one. I was like, all right. Went and saw it. And and I hadn't seen the first Sinister. So just the trip of like, oh, okay, this is a really awesome concept. And I just like, it was like that moment, there's a moment for everybody, I'm sure, that gets like hardcore into anything that like consumes their life after the fact. Like horror movies kind of have done for me. And that was Sinister 2, weirdly enough, for me. So that's why I have it so high.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And it was because conceptually, I was like, okay, like, why can't, action movies do this? Why can't even romance movies do this? Like, have these really trippy, like, awesome, like, concepts that they build upon. Why is everything just like a fucking, okay, like, cross your T's and dot your I's and move on with this script? Why has it got to be like that? Why can't it be something interesting and unique? Like the horror genre constantly pushes the envelope further and further and further. And that's another video I want to make, is that, I think that we're in currently we are in a golden age of horror. The 2020s, in just 4 years, have, in my opinion, outdone not only in quantity but quality of any other decade in 4 years. That is my personal opinion.
Well, considering the fact, 2020 was a little laxer, but 2021 and 2022 and 23, when it really hit, these horror films have been really kicking ass right now, especially recently.
Yeah.
Dude, and I was like, oh, 2024 is going to be a down year. Then out of nowhere, like the last 10 big movies that have come out have been just amazing. So
especially even this year has been awesome.
Yeah, that's what, like, all of 2024, I was like, man, this year's kind of sucking for horror films, but just out of nowhere, they're just like hit after hit after hit.
And then these horror films, okay, hold my beer, I'll show you how to make it.
You got Terrifier 3.
I think it started in like July, and like with Long Legs, then it just started picking up. Like Long Legs, Substance, other ones, Alien Romulus, things like that. It just slowly started picking up.
Alien Romulus. You got Terrifier 3. You got
Crow kind of ruined it.
What?
I
Crow. It's horror adjacent.
New one's just John Wick, but shit.
Yeah, that's more of an action flick. You could say that it's in the horror genre, but it's more of an action flick.
It's more action flick, because I love the original Crow. It's one of my favorite films.
But and then just recently, you had like Mr. Crockett, The Substance, Terrifier 3, Long Legs, VHS Beyond,
Strange Darling even kicked ass.
Strange Darling,
even with her Reddick that's coming this week too.
It's What's Inside was great.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And then we've got a few more like Nosferatu and the
Heretic.
one, what is it?
Heretic.
Heretic. Is Black Taxi or whatever coming out too? Like, or is that next year?
Yeah, the one with Nick Frost. I want to see that.
Is that coming out this year?
I'm unsure.
And there's another one coming out in December called Y2K. That's I'm kind of interested in seeing as well.
Yeah.
But sorry, I got off on a tangent. But yeah, that was Sinister 2, guys. All right, coming in at number 28 is Spiral. And I had it at 20th. Flet had it at 25, and Shay had it at 29. So Shay, with the lowest score, why did you have it so low, man?
It's barely a Saw movie, and
It's not a Saw movie. It's Spiral.
well, it's from the Book of Saw, my good friend. So if you want to say that,
Flet was like, "No, I'm done." He says,
Jigsaw's not a fucking Saw movie because it doesn't say Saw 8 or something on it. Then
"It's not a Saw movie. It's Spiral."
okay, then Jigsaw's not one either. We'll say
No. Because Jigsaw's the main antagonist. Jigsaw's not the main antagonist in Spiral.
It's a Jigsaw copycat.
Is he though? He's got a pig puppet.
Down to the spiral. He's got the puppet. He's got the spirals. He's got a shitty AI voice.
But it's a pig. It's a pig puppet.
I did not leave because of his opinion. I was actually trying to find the release date of the movie was talking, and then I hit the wrong button. I didn't. It just looked that way. I did not leave because of his opinions.
Horror agrees with Shay on that one, though.
Thank you.
29 plays.
Okay, to actually talk about the movie rather than arguing with you.
I didn't leave because you two were arguing.
He's like, I don't like confrontation.
No, I can argue with someone just to have fun, but yeah.
I mean that was the point of it, but we do kind of actually have to talk about the movie. But I don't like the comedic aspect of it. But it's too. I'll admit I laughed at most of the jokes because I laugh at anything, to be honest. But still, Chris Rock doesn't fit the tone. Although Samuel L. Jackson was absolutely banging in this movie, I gotta say he was sick. I think Max Minghella was alright, but besides from that, the kills were a bit disjointed. It feels like he's missing something halfway through the movie. One of the characters just disappears halfway through as well, never comes back. Yeah.
I get it, man. I get it. All right, Flet. Why'd you have it at number 25, sir?
Well, when I first heard this concept, when I hear that, Chris Rock wanted to get into horror films, okay, see where this goes. Because see him go his comfort zone, it could have been great. But then when I heard Samuel Jackson was going to be in a Saw film, I was like, okay, this is going to be awesome. And he did have an awesome line, though. I will say, I love the line when he said, "We're going to play a game, motherfucker."
Right.
It's awesome. But it's unfortunately his presence was a little shorter than I wanted. But
yeah,
they have an amazing thing. I just remembered. They bring back the de-aging in Saw, where you flip your cap around.
Oh yeah.
With a little drawn on mustache. I was about to draw. I'm not going to draw my mustache on my face.
Yeah. He's 16, guys.
He's 16. He looks 30, but he's 16, guys.
Yeah. The traps were okay. I do will say this. I do think the villain was easy to guess, and I think I think the voice was horrible. They could at least did something special with that instead of just doing just a normal person talking over the recording. Especially if you're trying to do like, try to. I know you can't. Of course, you can't be Tobin Bell, but still, you can at least come with some unique voice that will make it your own and still be Saw.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris Rock tried to be it serious. There was some moments where he still, hit his comedy moments. But it was still, like I said, it was cool to see these two in a horror film and Saw film. There were some things I enjoyed, but there was other things that could have been better. Just remember, the ending was wild, though. I will say that, especially Samuel Jackson gets framed for everything, and the cops kill him. I just wish. I wish. You remember when he goes down the elevator at the end? I wish when the elevator opens, someone else is in the mask that appears in front of him and leaves us on that little cliffhanger. Would be cool. They didn't continue Spiral. Thank goodness we got Saw X after this.
Oh yeah,
thank
Agreed.
goodness.
I will say yes.
I'd like to see where it goes though. Like you can't end it on the cliffhanger. As much as I dislike the film, I'd like to see where it goes.
I would love to see where the story goes and see where they could continue with it. It's just that there were some things were great, but then some things could have been a little bit better, for sure. But Samuel Jackson definitely was the highlight. I just had hard just for other Saw films. That's why.
Yes.
So for me, here's the tough part about Spiral is, in my opinion, if you take Chris Rock out of the picture, Spiral has one of the best casts and performances from almost every other character.
Yeah.
If you compare it to any other Saw film, except for Saw X, it's one of the best as far as like talent goes. And then you have Chris Rock. Yes, there are times when it is difficult, but sometimes he's pissed off. Like, I understand why he's pissed off all the time. Like the people that he works with tried to kill him. They wanted him to die because he snitched on one of his own. He was trying to be a good person and like got a bullet in the back for it.
Well, you couldn't trust anybody in that forest, basically.
Yeah,
except the
you
main
couldn't
cast.
trust anyone. And then I do like, so I really like the traps in it. I felt like they were, very, what's the word?
He doesn't even know. See,
no. you don't know what you have no words. No. So you know what?
They're very
he has no words. That's so great. He has no words.
Visceral. They're very visceral. Like like the fingers getting pulled off. Somebody hanging and just gets hit by a freaking train. Like it. And then at the end with Sam Jackson like hooked up, and then the thing that's like shooting shards of glass at somebody. Like they're very just interesting looking traps. But I like that I liked that they didn't give us another Jigsaw. They were like, okay, we keep screwing up on Jigsaw. Let's do something a little different. And it is a Jigsaw copycat, but it isn't Jigsaw, which I liked that. I was part of it. And I liked the little pig puppet too. But
yeah, like I said, props to Chris Rock going out of his comfort zone and trying something different. At least trying.
Yeah, no, I agree. But they surrounded Chris Rock with like a ton of really good talent.
Yeah. And getting Samuel Jackson play his father was perfect.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, if we're talking talent, if they do a sequel to this, bring in Will Smith. I think him and Chris will have great chemistry in this sequel.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're talking about.
Yeah. That'd be funny.
That would be funny. Yeah. Keep your traps out. No, never mind.
The trap is just a massive slap across the face.
Okay. Keep your traps out of my.
Yeah, right. All right. So moving on to number 27, we have Saw: The Final Chapter, Saw 3D, or Saw 7. The Saw of many titles. That's what we have here. And I had it at 22. Flet had it at 27, and Shay had it at 23. So, Flet, why did you have it so low, sir?
You know, I'm thinking about this list, but anyway, yeah, I had saw last chapter. You know, I never did see that. We're talking about the last chapter, right?
Yes, Saw 7.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So saw last chapter. The only reason why I had at that. Should have had it higher than Jigsaw, but whatever. I'm really thinking about my list, but whatever. But no, saw last chapter. I did not see the Dr. Gordon twist coming. I thought that was I think that was a shocking at that time in a way. But now watching the movies, you can connect to the dots. But at the time, I thought the Dr. Gordon, was great to see him come back. But I wasn't expecting him to be part of Jigsaw's, team. And then I thought it was cool how he turned the tables on Hoffman, and it was a cool way to end the trilogy at the time. But when they say the last chapter, it's these days it's full of crap because the studios are going to keep continuing along if they're making money.
Yeah, that's why I just call it Saw 7.
Yeah, it's just Saw 7.
Yeah, it's Saw
7. There were some really cool traps in there, and I just thought the ending was perfect the way it ended and how Dr. Gordon turned the tables on everyone. It was shocking that he was part of the twist. So I thought that was pretty cool. So the way that ended it at the time. So
heck yeah. All right, Shay, what was your thoughts on the movie?
All right, so first
you had higher than me, so
I'm biased with this movie.
We know why.
I'm biased with this movie simply for the fact that I'm a massive Linkin Park fan. Not currently. I don't currently like their new stuff, but I love Chester Bennington. He is my favorite vocalist of anything. He's my favorite singer. And he's in this movie. So I'm slightly I'm not biased at all, but it was really cool seeing him in a Saw movie. His death is kind of cool. I don't really like the pink blood that they use throughout the movie, but
oh yeah,
I don't know if we should say that. I'm just playing.
The pink blood was quite weird because it can't like in the other movies it looks kind of like real blood, but then as the movies go on, it gets cheaper and cheaper. I guess they just were skimping on the blood department. They just got some white paint and just put some red dye in it or something. But I don't know. I think the idea that a guy who pretended to be a Jigsaw survivor and then became in a game is kind of cool. But I also agree with seeing Dr. Gordon is really cool because he's one of my favorite characters in the Saw franchise. But yeah.
So this movie would have been one of my favorites if it didn't have more Hoffman crap in it.
The Hoffinator.
Everything else about this movie, that Chester Bennington being in it, he was awesome in that role.
Yeah.
I know I made a joke a minute ago, but for real, R.I.P. Chester.
Yeah.
He was an amazing vocalist. I loved Linkin Park growing up. He was awesome in this movie, but it's the only thing that held this movie back was them having so much of Hoffman in it. He should have been out in 6. They should have done something that had somebody else, had the doctor be in 7. Or the wife, one of them. I wouldn't have cared either way. Just get rid of the storyline with Hoffman, and this movie shoots up way high in my list. I love the whole storyline of the Saw survivor, the Jigsaw survivor, him pretending to be and then actually getting thrown into it and having to try to save the people that he cares about. I absolutely enjoyed that part of it. And then the twist at the end, everything about it was just so good. But the Hoffman crap is awful.
Yeah, I gotta say before like
I agree on that.
before we like move on to like next one though, I actually have a fun fact about this movie, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I found out not long ago Chester was actually supposed to have like a larger role in the movie, but because of touring, he wasn't able to. Like, he was supposed to be like one of the main characters, which would have been awesome.
That would have been
like
awesome.
more of him.
That would have been real awesome. Damn. Well, all right. Moving on to number 26, we have Saw 4. I had Saw 4 at 16. Blatt had it at 28, and you had it at 27, Shay. So, Blatt, why'd you have it down at 28, man?
So if I remember this movie correctly, so, is this the one? Is this which movie did
This
they
is,
kind of
the reveal of Hoffman at
Okay.
the end? It's the cop that gets put into the building where he's just supposed to not save anybody. That's like his test.
Yeah, I don't know why my mind's going blank on this, and I knew what I was talking about the other day. But yeah, Saw 4. I thought it was a step up a little bit more better than 3. The traps, were decent. I really enjoyed decent. Especially better than 5. I still think it's still a step up better than 5 was.
Absolutely.
Definitely. The traps were decent. But the ending was decent. But it's the only reason why I have it lower is on that list, because I still think the way last chapter ended was pretty cool. But Saw 4, I enjoyed it more than 3, but I just think Saw 4, it had a decent story. It definitely was better than 5. The writing was great. There were some decent traps. Like I said, it was a decent ending for sure. Is this the movie where they kind of had Donnie Wahlberg's character appear, or was it 5?
Donnie Wahlberg's character.
Because remember they had him in the beard.
This is the one. This is the one
Yes.
with Eric Matthews where he dies.
Yes.
Oh, okay. It was cool they brought him back, and but was expecting him to be killed off right off the bat, though. So.
Yeah.
Would have been cool to see more Donnie Wahlberg in these franchises. He was cool in 2. Yeah, he was cool in 2. I just didn't like how he went. They just trapped him. So, that, you know what I mean? They had a good, awesome story arc in 2, and oh my, the twist in that movie. When we get to that, can't wait to talk about that. But I just wish that was kind of weak. He just showed up, he was trapped, and he gets killed off. I thought that was the weakest part of the movie for sure. But in a way, Saw 4 I still enjoyed just a little bit more than 3, better than 5. So anyway.
All right. Well, Shay, what do you think about Saw 4?
I can't lie. I'm much like Kyle. I've sort of forgotten most of this, but I didn't like the bit with bloody hell. What the hell is his name? What is it? Matthews, isn't it? Yeah, I didn't like the bit with Matthews. Didn't they also bring back another character from 2? Or they brought another character back? He was the one with like the thing on like his back, and he was like there controlling the game.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There was no critique for that. I just remembered that.
Yeah.
I will say this. I will say this about this franchise. What a cool tradition it was when every year it was, bringing out every Saw film every year. That was quite the tradition at that time when it was on fire. And sometimes that could be pros doing that every year, but sometimes it could be cons because you could just rush it out every year. But I will say this, as a Saw fan, was cool when it was just coming out every single year, just waiting for the next year for a Saw film, how the hype it was for the franchise at that time.
Well, now we're getting VHS out every year, and this last VHS Beyond was so good, man.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw it, but oh my God.
I saw it. I enjoyed that one.
It was VHS Beyond was so good.
Yeah. I'm just saying, sometimes it could be pros that, every year it comes out, but it just depends how you do it every year. So
Absolutely.
I mean,
for sure,
what,
that's all.
that kind of like leads me to something which I'm like wanting like around now. I want them to like have a franchise which they release theatrically. I'm just saying that Shield doesn't bring up VHS. Theatrically more frequently. So that like, and by more frequently I mean start a franchise like around now. So that like when you're like pumping out all the sequels, I'll be able to go see all of them because I'll be like 18 or something.
Yeah.
That's just
No,
me being a
I get
skit,
that.
but I just want that.
For sure, yeah.
We want theatrical released like Marvel movies, but horror.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
I'm down.
not like shittily made, as in like actually nicely made.
Some of them are gonna be. let's be honest here.
No,
If you're
but
just
like
pumping them out,
I
they're
mean,
gonna be.
at least have the first few be decent quality. Don't start
yeah.
off with shit, then make
Yeah, they can
like,
do it. They just need to focus on the quality part instead of focus on the money part.
Absolutely. Well, so Saw 4 for me is one of my favorite Saw movies. Of course, I ranked it at number 16 in the list. The reason why I love this movie so much is because so you had John Kramer killed off in 3, and you're going into this going, okay, who's the villain? You know, we don't have Hoffman yet. We don't know what's going on. All we know is that there's another Jigsaw. Is Jigsaw still alive? Is it his wife doing it? Is it this? Is it that? Like, what's going on here? So you go into it with these questions and expectations, and then the traps that are set up with this police officer as he's going through. Yes, they might not be as like over the top and like a spectacle like a lot of the other like later Saw movies are, but they are still really good traps. But the part that I enjoy most about Saw 4 is that it's focused on a guy who Jigsaw is telling, don't do anything, just stand there, and he refuses to do that. And you know, all he has to do to survive is just don't do anything and let these people save themselves. Don't be the hero. And I just thought that was a very interesting concept to bring into something like this, and put on a character. And then you get to the end. We don't know anything about Hoffman yet, so you get to the end, and then Hoffman's revealed. It has this really interesting reveal of Hoffman like standing up, getting out of the chair, like after dude's head gets crushed, and you're just like, okay, who is this guy? Right? And there's still this, that by the end of the movie, there's still this question of, so who is this guy? What's his deal? How is he going to improve upon, John Kramer's Jigsaw, which now we know he doesn't, but you didn't. There was still that promise of, okay, this could be good. And Saw 4 was actually just a pretty well-made movie in and of itself, and just especially with the reveal and everything. And then you go into 5, and unfortunately 5 just kind of, that's almost killed the franchise in my opinion. But luckily it dragged itself far enough along to where we got Saw X.
Thank gosh.
But all right, number 25 ended up being Jigsaw, which I had at 17, and both of you had it at 26. So we'll start.
I matched with Shay this time.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Not thinking that.
You both had it at 26.
Let Shay start on this.
Okay,
one.
Shay.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. So pretty much, I think it's an alright movie. It's got some really cool like set pieces. I think like robot Billy, like actual robot look, not like just puppet, but like robotic look, like glowing red eye kind of Billy is cool. I'd want to see more of that. But You're telling me that John Kramer had all this goddamn technology, and then in all the other movies, Blood's just using like what bathrooms and stuff. if he's able to do all of that for these traps, could have been able to do something like that.
I can answer that question for you. So, in this one, it shows how sterile it was in the beginning. So when he first set everything up, it's very sterile. It's very medical. But what he wanted to do is he wanted to take broken people and force them out of that nastiness and become better people. That's what his whole purpose was. So he put them in filth. He decided not to go with the sterilized look and instead decided to put them, at least that's what I get out of it, is he's like, oh no, this is way too like sterile, to like everything's clean, everything, instead I'm going to put them in filth and they're going to dig themselves out of the filth and become better for it. And that's kind of the takeaway I got from it.
Yeah.
That's why he went that direction. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
And then I like Logan Nelson. I'd like to see him back at some point as well, because once again, it does end where you can just end it off, but he's cool. Like, if they have Saw 11 is going to be like another prequel then, because then you kind of have to kill John off because you can't really bring him back because he. But like, yeah. Well, it was more like, but still, if they make a Saw 12, which they're obviously going to, Saw 11 is going to make them money, and then they're going to be like, well, let's make another few. They're obviously going to have it set after the events of one of the other ones, maybe between another one of them. But I see them maybe setting it after Jigsaw, and or maybe even after Saw 3D, and have maybe Bobby Dagan again or something, because he survived.
Yeah.
And then you can maybe bring Logan in there, and maybe he's working with Dr. Gordon. I mean, maybe I know it was like a deleted scene. They said those people with the pig heads were like those guys from the beginning, but why would they suddenly want to work with Jigsaw?
Right.
I'd say maybe one of them's Bobby. Not Bobby, Logan.
Logan, yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right, Flip.
As for me, so at first when I watched Jigsaw, it didn't sit well with me. But after a few watches, the movie growing on me. It has some decent, pretty awesome kills. The villain was cool. I do like the editing of this movie, and like they make it like both events are going on at the same time. I love the fact how they do that, pull that off, and bring you in. But the one event's like set years before, and the other one's set years later.
Yeah,
that was so cool twist, and I thought it was great to be in the theater when Tobin Bell entered the scene, and everyone just jumped up and excited. That was a cool part when he was in the scene that he did was very cool, and the twist was at the end was very cool too. I thought with you can tell I clicked in right away. It was how he faked his death, but the way they made it look like how he killed with with the lasers going up and everything.
Yeah.
But I clicked in right away because at that point I could figure out stuff out at some point. But Jigsaw, it was a decent movie that has grown on me over the years. So I would like to see that villain come back at some point.
I will say one thing that I do enjoy about John Kramer's character, at least compared to all the rest of the Jigsaw wannabes, is that he would actually put his life in danger.
Yeah.
None of the other ones would.
No.
And like he, in Saw X, he actually like puts his life on the line and plays his own game, and he's done that multiple times in the movies. He did it
definitely. I agree. Yeah, so it was funny with the shotgun scene was pretty cool.
Yeah, the shotgun scene's great. But so my opinion on Jigsaw is that it's I actually kind of like the I just said it a minute, the sterilization look, the like that medical look, because of the new Jigsaw that's running this game this time, or because of that doctor and stuff, and like getting into that character, because that's who he is, as opposed to John Kramer. John Kramer like put people in filth. This guy is very sterile. He works in a morgue and everything's very sterile, very clean. So I liked that. They did reuse one of the traps, or it's very similar. The very first trap where it's like pulling them into the saws on the wall. That was from Saw 5. It's a very similar trap. Not exactly the same, but same idea. It was pretty cool. And then the only trap I didn't like was the one that they kind of like made a big deal about, which was the engine, the turbine. That thing that looks stupid when that kill happened. With the motorcycle and stuff. But yeah, the turbine kill was really dumb. The rest of them I did enjoy though, and then the whole twist at the end was great. And then when just the lasers that go up his face are just like light, they're just lights basically.
Yeah,
and the other dude gets his face cut off. It was wild, but no, I really enjoyed the movie. I liked the new Jigsaw way more than Hoffman. That character is way more interesting than Hoffman was. But yeah, I didn't think it was just an amazing movie, but I did enjoy it.
Yeah, it's decent.
All right. At number 24, we have Saw 6. And I had it at 26, Flet had it at 29, and Shay had it at 12. All right, Shay, why'd you love this movie, man?
Well, firstly,
put the cap on. Here we go.
Talk about this movie, right? So, yeah, right. So, firstly, we get young John Kramer. He's 20-something years younger in that scene.
Yeah.
For another, it's got Roderick from Diary of a Wimpy Kid in it. I'm a bit biased with that as well. I grew up with those movies. I also love that kill with the acid. I think it's sick. I like the insurance aspect of it, where like this guy just denies people their basically like them being allowed to live, and then he has to make the choices for people that he knows to live. I think that's cool as well.
Yeah,
and it's not got too much Hoffman.
That's true.
It's mainly focusing on that aspect.
All right, Flet.
Yeah, I also love the fact that it doesn't spend too much time on Hoffman as well. The John Kramer young thing, everything that Shay said was perfect. There was, I really enjoyed this one. It still definitely was better than 5 still. Definitely. Yeah, Saw 6, had a decent story for a Saw film. Especially, I think better right in the 5 still. The way it ended was very cool. There's some decent characters in there. But yeah, that's my take on 6.
Okay. 6 for me was the traps. I absolutely loved the setup for the traps and him having to decide who lives and who dies in each trap, or having to be helpful, having to hurt himself in order to get the person through the steam, all the steam. So he has to put the steam on himself to let them through.
Yeah.
But the best one is, of course, the merry-go-round shotgun. Like, that was dope. And then the twist at the very end where that family that he made the decision to not let their the husband or dad not get treatment through the insurance, they got to decide his fate at the end. Like, I really liked that. I was like, oh
Yeah.
damn,
Yeah.
okay, because it makes you think that that's his family the whole time, and then it gets to the end, and you're like, oh, what the hell? But then you have more stupid Hoffman stuff right after that, which really just throws me off. But yeah, I do really enjoy this movie. I think that if they would have had, just like all the rest of them with Hoffman in it, if they had a different Jigsaw or just kept John Kramer alive through all of it, this movie would have just been way higher on my list. I probably would have enjoyed the Saw franchise as a whole. Probably would have just been better, But that's my Saw 6 opinion. All right, we actually have 2 movies that tied for 22, and that is Terrifier 1 and Hatchet 1. Terrifier 1, I put in 24, and both of you put it at 21.
Oh, we matched again. Look at that. Not
And
knowing
then-
each other's list. Great minds think alike, I guess.
And then Hatchet 1, I put at 25. Flett put at 17, and Shay put at 24. So we can just do a quick overview of Terrifier and Hatchet together.
Okay, I'll start first. The first Terrifier, it doesn't have the strongest story, for like story wise, but Dave R. Thornton taking over the role of Art the Clown from Mike from All Hallows Eve. I think Dave R. Thornton took that role to the next level. Especially, you have to play a scary, creepy character and not say anything, and also still be funny at the same time. Which we all know Art can be really funny when he can be. I think the Tara and Dawn, the actresses that played Tara and Dawn, did an awesome job. I wish Tara wasn't killed off the way, because she was awesome. And then Victoria was thrown into it, and we all know the brutal kill right in half where it starts.
Oh,
they went there. I love it. And I always thought the scene where you're just looking at Tara across the pizza parlor, just staring at her. And then Dawn tries to get a picture with him, sits on his lap, and then accidentally hits his hat on him, and he just turns his head and looks at her. The first Terrifier, if it wasn't for the first Terrifier, we wouldn't have Terrifier 2 and 3. But the first one definitely doesn't have the strongest character development or story, but the kills make up for this, and it's the performance from Dave Howard Thornton makes this movie engaging for sure. And you can and Art, the Art's really demanding, especially when he puts on the homeless lady's friggin' skin and make him the way he's walking and everything. And how it is. I was like, oh geez, Art's really demented here.
Then he tucks it.
It's unfortunate. I wish Victoria had more character. I'm thinking she did in the feature movies, but when she was still more had her face and everything, would have been cool to see Samantha do more stuff with that one. But and the way I loved how it connects from the beginning to the ending. That was her interview, same person. So yeah, Terrifier. Not the strongest, but still give us Art the Clown. So, and like I said, I wish Tara lived because she was a good character. But they wanted to go more like the psycho treatment where she gets killed off. You spend time a little bit with these characters. But on Hatchet, Am Green created this back in 2006, which is crazy to think that 18 years ago. The first Hatchet, I thought the girl who played Mary Beth in the first one, she did a good job for what she was doing. It has one of my favorite kills of the series, though. It's when he grabs the older lady and rips her face off. Because at that point, you didn't have that brutal kills at that point until you saw that, and that's Kane Hodder's favorite kill, by the way.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't have the greatest story in the world, not the greatest dialogue in the world at all. But it was cool to see, Tony Todd. It was great to see Robert Englund in there.
Oh yeah, just some of the greats of the horror industry.
And Victor Crowley and Kane ends up killing all of them. So, yeah, like I said, it doesn't have these, and the movie just ends. I will say that the movie just ends where that's it. Like Dawn, she grabs Mary Beth and just ends. But I will say this: the kills were brutal at that point. So that's what I think about the first Hatchet film.
Okay. What about you, Shay?
So
on these two.
I agree with Carl. The original Terrifier, not really much of a story. The kills are brutal, and I love David Tyler Thornton in the role. Standout moment in the film for me, which you guys didn't talk about, the bit where he just busts in through the garage with the music playing. He's just bobbing his head to some jazz. That was great.
Yeah, that was good.
Hatchet, once again, I don't think the dialogue's that good. I don't think the story's that good, but
no, it's not.
The villain is so good. The kills are brutal. I think it's pretty cool.
But why would you stand near the door, though? This is what I want to get. Why would you stand near the door when he's hitting the axe against the door and he stands near and he gets his chop? I get it. But you know what? You know what? The scene that makes me laugh is Perry Shin when he's in the bus and he's talking to the old couple. I said no. It's a loud bus. Why you need it? It's a small bus, so why you need a freaking thing talking on the microphone where you're right next to everybody yelling. He's trying to talk act all whatever.
Exactly.
It's just funny. I don't know why.
So go ahead. So for Terrifier and Hatchet for me, so Terrifier, basically on both of these, the reason why I ranked them how I did is because neither of them have very good stories, but they're just gory. They're gore fests, and you get to have fun with the way that these slasher villains take people out, basically, in both of these movies. The reason why I like Hatchet is actually because of the dude from Grandma's Boy, and because I think Grandma's Boy came out the same year, but he plays like the antagonist in the Grandma's Boy movie, and I absolutely love that movie. And then with Terrifier, you can't go wrong with just Art the Clown being Art the Clown. It's not of the 3 or 4 movies that he's in. It's not one that I would just pick up and just watch. I'd pick up 2 or 3 if I was just going to watch a Terrifier movie.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm glad that both of those movies exist, both Hatchet and Terrifier, because it got to establish 2, new horror villains that got franchises out of it. And that's why I love it. But all right, going into number 21, we have Victor Crowley, and I ranked Victor Crowley at 28. Flet had it at 19, and Shay had it at 28 as well. So me and Shay agreed on this one. But that 19 really pushed it up in the rankings.
Yeah.
Oh, I pushed the boundaries here.
But yeah, Victor Crowley. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, so Victor Crowley. So after they took a break from the franchise after a long time, it all started with Adam Green, celebrating the Hatchet. But he surprised everyone. We're not watching the old Hatchet. We're watching a new Hatchet. And they filmed Victor Crowley in secretly.
Nice.
Which was a huge surprise. I think Victor Crowley is still better than 3, if I was going to rank it that way. Can we all agree that one character was homage to Heather Donahue and Blair Witch? You know which character I'm talking about? Is that one it's the one leading lady with that brings on because they're coming to get the story of the ghost story.
Oh, okay.
In the hotel.
Yes.
Her character reminds me of her. I think that's a homage to her character from Blair Witch, for sure.
I can see that. Absolutely.
Yeah, and you also got Dave Sheridan here, which was Dave Sheridan. Lissa Rose. So unfortunately, this movie spends most of the time on the airplane instead of focusing on the thing. But it was great to see Victor Crowley come back, and there are some really gross kills in here. And I love how Dave Sheridan's character sacrificed himself for sure. Just runs and throws him into the wing of the airplane, the fan. But we do get an awesome cameo from Danielle Harris at the end. But unfortunately, we have to wait longer until whenever he decides to do a fifth film. Can't leave it there on that cliffhanger.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, for sure. So, like I said, Victor Crowley is definitely stronger than 3. Still not the greatest dialogue, but there's some funny moments in there for sure.
Oh yeah,
yeah, and some really good kills. But like I said, I do like there still were homages to other horror films. So for sure, that's Victor Crowley.
All right.
Yeah.
What'd you think, Shay?
I think it's all right. It's kind of meh. I don't really remember much of this movie as well. It's just kind of boring. I sat there the whole time, kind of waiting for it to be over. I didn't really enjoy it. I feel like the second one's the peak of the franchise. So they're just slowly going down and down.
It's my favorite out of that franchise, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the second one was good. This one is
I understand definitely.
Like, this movie is just really forgettable to me. That was the worst part. And the dialogue's not great. It's kind of boring. But
yeah, because there's a few scenes I will say it's the parts when they're just on the airplane that kind of just drags it.
Yeah,
it really does. And
I wish they could take him out of the swamp too.
Yes. Yeah. But I really don't have much. Like, I don't hate the movie, but it's just kind of one of those that you watch and you're just kind of like, all right.
Yeah.
It's a movie. Yeah.
For sure. I respect that. I definitely understand where you guys are coming from.
All right. We have number 20 is It Part 2.
It Part 2.
And I had It Part 2. Where did I have It Part 2? Oh my gosh.
Forgot your list already?
See, It Follows. Let's see, It Part 1. There it is. Okay. I had it at 13. Flat had it at 24, and Shay had it at 22. Now, I had it so high. I'll go ahead and talk first this time. I had it so high because I really think that it's not that bad of a movie. I think what happened is this entity scaring children is better to watch than it trying to mess with adults. And
yeah,
I think that that's where it goes wrong. And I actually even feel that way about the original too, like the limited series. And because you have a phenomenal cast for Part 2 with all the adults were chosen perfectly. I don't think there could have been any better people to play those parts. I just don't think that Pennywise going after adults is interesting. Whenever it's kids and kids being just terrified and nobody can really help them, like it's way more menacing than these adults coming back. They're scared, but it's just a completely different feel. It doesn't have the same charm that it does in Part 1.
Yeah.
That's my thoughts on
it. Well, for me, I feel this one I review doesn't have the same feel as Part 1. I love the adult cast. They are all amazing actors and actresses, like stellar like performances.
Oh yeah.
Amazing casting as well for each of them. Once again, James Ransone, great actor. Deputy so-and-so, my main man. But like I I think it's not as scary as the original. I do like how they don't use as much as the like jumpy VFX as the original, because that was really annoying. But every kill, it felt like he was just like every time, and it was really dumb.
Yeah.
But, like,
Yeah.
with with like the sequel, they didn't do that as much, which I was so glad about because it was so annoying in the original. But like, I feel like the older cast members don't have much of a connection as the younger ones.
Yes. I agree. Like I said, I think a lot of that has to do with just you're going to empathize more with the kids in that situation than you do with the adults. You know, it's like, why did you dumbasses come back? You know, like just move on, you know. But it's more fun seeing them with kids, but it goes after people who believe. They don't explain things properly in the movies. And I think that's what let the newest installment down. They tried to explain it, but did it so poorly. That is from horror.
I agree on that.
1 second. But yeah, I agree. Yeah, I do agree with all that. All right, Flet, what did you think of part 2, man?
Yeah, I think that part 2 is definitely the weakest out of the two. And this goes for both, miniseries in this. I think that the one the adults are facing him is the weakest fight, because I think it's the strongest when he fights the kids. You got for both. You got an awesome cast, and just like you can say for the original adults too, you got an awesome cast. But then part 2, I did not like how they CGI'd Bill Skarsgård's face into that spider. I thought, really, you're gonna go there?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely the weakest. I do think I can't remember which character though gets on my nerves throughout this movie. I can't remember what character gets on my nerves, but yeah, it definitely is the weakest out of the two. But I do think that they got an all-star cast, and it was good to see James McAvoy in there to play Bill.
Yeah,
was perfect. It's just that when they're adults, based opinion wise, it is very weak. It's not as strong when they fought them as kids. So
agreed.
That's all I'm going to say on that one.
All right. Well, coming in, excuse me, coming in at number 19 is Megan. I had Megan at number 10. Flet had it at 18, and Shay had it at 30. Jesus.
Showtime.
He did not like this movie. Oh yeah, horror. The endings on both film adaptations are bad. I do agree.
Both adult fights from both are weak for sure.
Yeah. So, but yeah, Shay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I mean, I don't think it's particularly bad, but I just find it like we've seen the same thing already with like the Child's Play remake, and it's the same thing but slightly different, because it's an AI like dude, and this one's like a dancing AI. But yes, I think some of the kills could have been done so much better if it was rated R. I feel them because it blew up on TikTok. The reason that they like cut it all down, I feel that was kind of a mistake, just making it PG-13. There is a rated R cut, but I haven't seen that yet. Maybe that will make the experience better.
It actually doesn't. Actually, the radar cut does not do anything for it. They made a radar cut for the Blu-ray. It does not do anything. There's only a difference, longer scene, but there's not like blood or gore or anything.
Yeah.
I don't know why they even made it an unrated cut. It's not really different than the theatrical version. It's one of the horrible unrated cuts ever. So.
Oh, what'd you think about the movie, Flat?
Yes, it definitely is what we've seen before. I do think the performance of the girl that plays Megan does an awesome job. Though.
Hey, I like Scream and Ice Cream. What's up, man?
Hey, hey, I like Scream and Ice Cream. Like I said, I think the little girl that plays Megan, she did an awesome job. I didn't realize the one that plays the mom, she was from Get Out. You know, the villain, that the girlfriend. I didn't realize that was her at first until I was going throughout the movie, and I was like, "Oh, wait a minute." Of course. What do you guys think of that dance scene that happens in this movie?
I think it's great.
I think whoever did the choreography, did an amazing job with that. The kills were hold back. I don't know why when they do a movie like this, they make it PG-13. I'm like, who are you trying to cater for? This is a movie for us horror fans. Give us what we want from this movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, this is a horror film, not a Disney film. No offense. You know what I mean?
I disagree completely. Okay. So here's my take on it. Megan is the perfect film for a new up and coming group of people to have an entry point into horror. We have to have those movies.
Yeah,
we have to. And everything about in my opinion, everything with it blowing up on TikTok, with it blowing up on YouTube, with kids doing the dance, like all that does is it puts the horror genre into the forefront of society and makes more people want to watch these movies, and that is only a good thing for the horror community. And that means more money getting dumped into the movies that we want. That means more stories getting greenlit. Yes, some of them are going to be PG-13, but more studios are going to take bigger risks whenever they go, oh, a horror movie can do that. Okay. You know what I mean? So I think that it's an amazing thing. I will scream that until I die. I am not a horror purist. I do not believe that we need to gatekeep and try to keep people out of the scene.
No, I'm not saying that either.
Oh yeah,
you need to wide your audience. I just think they need to do the weird cuts with the kills is all.
Yeah,
I've seen really good PG-13 horror where they really still did a few things with it.
Yeah, but I mean, I see your point, but like if you're gonna like release it as PG-13, why not just make a film to be PG-13? Like FNAF, for instance, that was made for children horror fans, pretty much. It was made for children. I mean, I was gonna make a joke there and just say, nah, just make them watch the actual horror movies like I did.
I mean, that's what my girlfriend did that too. She had to grow, when she was a kid, her parents made her sit and watch like all the Friday the 13th, all the Nightmare on Elm Streets, back in the mid 90s and Scream movies. So she grew up watching like actual horror. But I mean, there are, kids like me that grew up and weren't allowed to watch that kind of stuff, but I would have been able to watch Megan. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, it's not with me. It's not that I wasn't allowed to watch it. It's that, like, I'd be scared of it. But then I watched a film that I actually was scared of, but I enjoyed. I watched it again and like, this is pretty damn good. Let me watch some other ones like this. Like, if you bring someone up with horror movies, they probably wouldn't be scared of it. Like,
but I also want you to think about this in the mind of a business person, because I know that we three here are movie enjoyers, but there's a huge side to the entertainment industry that is it's money. That's all it's about. So if you need things that are going to inject money into the things that you love, and how we get that is by having stuff like Megan or like Five Nights at Freddy's, or because I'll tell you what makes the most money is if a child likes it. That's what makes the most money. You think Linkin Park would have been as big as they were if it wasn't for children that grew up listening to them? No, the adults wouldn't care.
I will say this to any studio though, if you're just focusing on the money part instead of focusing on a great story and gives good writing, you won't make your money. And just Um, like I will say this though, I just agree. I do get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I just saying from a studio standpoint, if you're just focusing on the money part, you're not gonna make your money. You got to focus on like giving us like a really good story, and like like give us something like quality instead of the quantity. Like focus on the quality part. You know what I mean? I get what you're saying though.
Yeah,
I'm just saying like studios need to like. I know that you're here to make money, but give us a really good movie. And
absolutely.
it's
No,
good
I do
entertainment.
agree. I do agree.
Yeah, and I agree. I get what you're saying too. I do agree what you're saying too. Just like, but I'm just saying, like, if studios, we don't need you to make money. Like, you know how those egos are. Like,
Yeah.
Like
Now,
yeah,
but you also have to like horror has been the laughing stock of
course.
of the movie industry for generations. It's just now in the last like maybe 20 years getting to a point where people actually respect the horror genre as a whole, like not just people that enjoy it. And I mean, we still get left out of the Oscars, like our movies. Pearl should have been nominated for like her Mia Goth's performance as Pearl.
Tony Collette from Hereditary should have.
Oh, absolutely. Those performances, outstanding, but not even a mention of these people. And, but when you have basically the main point is you have to have these studios contribute more money to get to that point.
Yeah,
even though we do still need to have the creative side of it as well. If they stop being creative, then I'm out too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get. Yeah, Megan is a very entertaining. PG-13 does drive the audience, and I do agree on that part. I'm just saying, especially when these I know we're going off a little tangent a little bit, but but it's all good. I'm just saying that's why some of these superhero films are sucking, because they're just throwing them out like constantly instead of just focusing. Really give us really good superhero film. You know what I mean? And
as long as Disney doesn't take over all of the horror genre,
I know.
I think we'll be fine.
Yeah, thank goodness, right? Yeah. Thank goodness.
I think we'll be okay.
I just didn't like cheapers blue glasses attitude when it came to Scream 7. When they said you remember when they said, we don't need you, we're gonna make well, first of all,
I'm
scared.
I'm scared of Scream 7.
We would have had Christopher Land if it wasn't for these Eagle Studios crap. You know what I mean?
No, I'm scared of how Scream 7 is going to turn out. We'll see. But with all the crap that's happened, I don't know. I'm not hopeful, or I am hopeful, but I'm not holding my breath. You know what I mean?
Me either. I'm not gonna do anything until I see the final product of it.
Yeah,
for sure.
Well, I actually have a video coming out soon, which I'm sure is gonna change you guys' mind. It's talking about a great little thing which they could do in Scream 7. But yeah, just look out for that, guys.
Absolutely, definitely look out for it.
I love the fact that we can have an awesome conversation.
Shield knows something about it, which I told the other day.
Yeah, Horror's gonna love it. Okay,
it's all good.
Let's get back on track just a little bit, guys. I'm sorry.
It's all good. No worries.
Fault. But all right. So number 18 is Hatchet 2, which I gave a 29. Fleck gave a 7, and Shay gave 18. All right. The reason I gave it a 29 is because it starts like immediately after the first one, right? Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I just didn't connect with any of the characters in it. I was and the dialogue is still not great. I don't know. On the second watch through, I got so bored so quick with this movie. that I just didn't know. But yeah, I just didn't connect with it. I don't know.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
For me, I liked it more. I think it's the best one out of them all. But I liked it more than the first one, the second one, and Victor Crowley. I don't even remember properly. But yeah, this one was fun. I felt it had a lot more of like the campy horrorness. The kills are still really good, and once again, I just like seeing this guy walk around, just killing people in a swamp.
In the swamp, yeah. I know it feels like it's a Shrek horror film the way you said that.
Yes, we need that. We need that.
Oh yeah, it's not giving me ideas now. Just because we said that, now there'll be a Shrek film announced soon.
Right.
Yeah, well, they're making a horror film for
I know Bambi, Peter Pan. You got friggin' Winnie the Pooh friggin' around. You guys got Steamboat Willie come out next year.
Yeah.
Well, technically, we already had Steamboat Willie. We had the Mousetrap and those shit, so we aren't going to talk about.
In the next, dude, in the next 10 years, it's going to be really interesting because things like Superman and Batman are going to be in the public domain. That's going to be wild. Batman horror or Superman horror films and Batman horror films made poorly. That's going to be something.
You know, someone will do it, so it won't be surprising if it happens.
No, it's going to happen. It's just a matter of a matter of which week it happens on. Batman versus Mickey Mouse.
Oh. You guys remember the South Park episode where Mickey Mouse beats the crap out of those guys at the theater? I don't. Oh.
Bro. Oh. All right. So what are your thoughts on Hatchet 2, Flit?
Oh, I even forgot what we were talking about for a minute.
I
was just like, okay, what movie are we talking about until you said something?
Mickey Mouse. We're talking about Mickey. Does Mickey Mouse have the Disney movies, guys?
Yeah, we were talking about Hatchet 2.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, Hatchet 2 is definitely the most funnest out of the series. It definitely is my favorite out of the series. You know, Danielle Harris takes over the role. I love the fact that Tony Todd got an expanded role in this. It's good to see him know more about his. He's an amazing actor. You know, I love him in Candyman and Final Destination. And then of course you got Tom Holland, who directed Bright Night, Child's Play. No, not Spider. But he would be really.
I know.
I get your joke, and I'm playing along. I get your joke. That's funny. Yeah, Spider-Man definitely. He directed this.
Yes.
When he was like 10 or something.
Probably younger.
Bright Night, he was 6.
Yeah.
But no, you got Tom. You all got R.A. Mohoff, who supposedly played Leatherface in 3, and what scenes Kane actually did. It depends on the argument. R.A. Mohoff was in there. Perry Shen's back, but he's playing a totally different character. He's playing the brother of the first one.
Yeah,
that's
Yes.
I do like the kill though with the chainsaw when you got the two guys together and chopped them. A big long chainsaw. Even Tony Todd goes out. You know, he takes his whole friggin' half out of his skin, frozen, like Predator would. You know what I mean? Like Predator. But yeah, Hatch 2 does not have the greatest dialogue or story, but it's the most funnest, I think, out of the Hatchet films, for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Coming in at 17. For some reason, this low is Maxxxine. I had it at number 9. What had it at 22, and Shay had it at 20.
Oh, we weren't far off, huh?
Yeah, y'all were both super low on this movie. It's still a good movie. Like,
I still enjoy it. It's just,
I was like, damn, y'all were like, fuck this movie.
It's like, that's it, we're out. That was I'm thinking about you too. Get out.
It wasn't like a F this movie kind of thing. It was more of just like a we're looking at like X and Pearl, and then we got this movie. Like,
well,
it's kind of disappointing.
but it was supposed to, I get that, but against all the rest of these movies, I was like, damn.
Well, I mean, have you seen your channel name? Are we really gonna?
Oh yeah, Mr. Hot Take.
Hey, you had your hot takes. I had mine on Sinister too.
Yeah.
My apparently I have all the hot takes though.
You have all the hot takes. I have all the rants.
And I have whatever.
No, so
you have Flaps Movies and Pop Culture 13.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
no,
get what you're saying there.
with Maxxxine, yes, compared to X and Pearl, it was disappointing. I 100% agree with that. But I still like it was one of those moments like I got done with the movie and I sat there and went, I really enjoyed this movie, but damn it, why wasn't it as good as the other two? And that's literally I just sat there like I would because if this would have been just even close to the other two, it would have been the perfect trilogy.
Yeah, thing is, it's weird because this took longer to make than X and Pearl because those were made at the same time.
Yes.
And Pearl was banging.
Oh my god.
This took like an extra 2 years?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think they were originally only going to make X, and then they got the idea to make Pearl while they were filming X, and then decided after that to make a sequel to X.
Yeah.
I think is what happened. And Maxxxine had a slightly bigger budget, I think. They split the budget they had for X to make Pearl and ended up and it wasn't a very big budget. It was only like a couple million.
Yeah.
For those movies. And Maxxxine did still, even with a bigger budget, it wasn't that big. Like A24 doesn't give these people like just a stupid amount of money. It's like usually around like between like 5 and 20,000 or 20 million. You know,
20,000. I was going to
20,000. No, 5 and 20 million. It's they A24 doesn't give them just outrageous budgets for movies, but it's crazy because a lot of A24 movies look like they have stupid budgets, but even though they don't.
Well, it really shows where you really put your creative aspect with that money too.
Oh yeah, I really appreciate A24. They've done a lot of really good things. Not only they like during the writer's strike, they were one of the few studios that said, "Okay, we'll just pay you what you want," and didn't even fight the unions on it. They stayed open and kept making movies because of that.
Well, see, you can read that now. That's a studio I respect because they know, they don't have that, that stupid Hollywood ego studio that we see a lot of the times. And that I respect A24.
Yeah, they were just like, okay, just bring us your demands. We'll match it and just keep making movies.
We'll all be like, oh no, we want all the money to stuff. You let's do is act like they're the ones making the movie. They're the reason why it's successful, right?
Exactly.
That's all. That's all I was really saying when you were talking about the studios making money. Because I do agree they wanted to make PG-13 and Maxxxine big audience, right?
A24
at all. So
A24 is doing it perfect, man.
Yeah.
Like, even if you don't like all their movies, the way that they handle their business is top notch.
Yeah, I 100% agree for sure. And so Maxxxine, the highlights was me. I think they really nailed the 80s aspect of it very well. I love the soundtracks throughout. I thought it was very cool. And what was very cool when this came out, it was Kevin Bacon month. He was in Devil's Cop as Axel Foley. But even though he had a small role in this, I still think he did an awesome performance in this movie. Maxxxine. I don't know why it made me laugh when she got out of his car and beat the crap out of him.
That was great.
That was great. Yeah. Go ahead.
Horror, you definitely need to watch these movies. They're so good. They're
I
so
agree.
damn good.
I like how they used the cycle house. It fits the story they were trying to tell. They
Yes.
didn't overuse it either.
Yeah.
I really got
Yes.
to understand why they used it. That was very cool. We got to see that in there.
That was awesome.
I do think the ending though kind of disappointed me though a little bit. I'm like, you going, especially they were doing the Night Stalker storyline. It was disappointing to find out it was just her dad. Okay.
Yeah.
And then they
the Night Stalker, if it would have been the Night Stalker the whole time, I think the movie would have been 1,000 times better.
Yeah, and then you find out it's just her dad. I'm just like, okay, that's disappointing. And then the weird exorcist stuff going on there was like, okay. But it was a cool effect though when she stands over and uses the shotgun and shot his face off.
Yeah.
But there was a bone crusher scene where she stepped on someone's balls. Just like really.
Yeah.
But what I do like the shot though of her, the makeup of her head on the bed and then plays Bay Davis' eyes. I thought that was a cool ending.
Yes.
But yeah, it's just that ending was the weakest out of the movie, I think. And she was kind of held back in this movie just a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Just
I 100%.
I still enjoyed it.
The ending was the worst part of that movie. 100%.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. We're going to move on to number 16, The Babadook. I had it at 15, Flet had it at 15, and Shay had it at 19.
Oh, well, I matched you this time. Look at that.
Yeah, and we're all pretty close on this one. It was, I just don't think it was hey, all right, Jorge, you have a great night.
Yeah, have a great evening.
Have a good night, Jorge. I can't wait for my collab with her next Sunday.
So. Absolutely, that'd be fun. But The Babadook, I'm not going to really say much about it because it is a damn good movie. It's just slow and not my style. That's the only. There's nothing bad or wrong with the movie. It's just not for me. Jorge said it's the worst movie.
Love it.
He's 32. That's funny.
Well, for me, I don't particularly think it's bad, but I agree with you. It's not my movie. And I love the design though. The design for the Babadook is cool. But I don't really have much to say.
No.
I can't even remember what I said about it, but yeah, it definitely everything what you guys said. But yeah, Babadook, yeah, it's slow. I only seen this once, so I had to go off what I saw about it. Yeah, there's some decent stuff in there, but it's not the movie I would go back on this list to watch it more than once, to be honest. So yeah, that's why it's number 15. I'll just keep it short because
yeah.
It's
I like the storybook elements and I like the look of the Babadook, but the story and how slow the movie is just not my style.
Is this the movie that Tara references in Scream?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the one. All right, moving on to number 15, we have Malignant, and I put it at 21. Flet had it at 13. Shay had it at 14.
Which one? Oh,
Malignant.
Okay.
Malignant.
I don't know why I didn't even hear what you just said. I'm listening to you, and then somehow it just blanked out. Sorry.
It happens, man.
Malignant. So mine was 13. Your guys is where?
His was 14, and mine was 21. 21.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I just found I've come to a point where James Wan's movies are just not for me. His style is too slow for me. He's got these huge portions in almost every movie he makes that are just extremely long, drawn out, and boring. I do appreciate what he's done for the horror genre, but his movies just aren't my style. And that's really like now the action sequences in Malignant are so good. So good.
Goes bonkers.
It's just the parts that it's just where nothing is happening. There's so much just nothing in this movie that it's really difficult.
Yeah, I respect that. We all have our own taste. I get that. I respect why you don't like James Bond. I respect that because we have our own taste. Enjoy it, love that.
Absolutely.
I'm myself. I'm a big fan of James Gunn's movie.
Well, you heard
Yeah.
from here now, folks. He's a huge fan of James Gunn. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm a fan of both of them. I'm excited to see what he does with the DCU. Hopefully, he can fix whatever the hell they did with the last one.
Let's hope so.
Zack Snyder, most overrated DC movies. Like,
No, Man of Steel is so good, bro.
it's good, but like, they need to stop dick riding him.
I love Zack Snyder,
The
man.
dick riding
300.
online is the dick ride online is crazy. Crazy.
Oh, I don't dick ride him, but I do think that he's a good director.
He's a good director, but like, it's crazy. Like, they trying to say that James Gunn's movie is shit before it's even like had a trailer out yet.
No,
Like, you can't do that.
I love James Gunn too. I love
Go
James
watch
Gunn.
his movies first before you decide what your opinion is.
Mate, they think a suit that isn't even like, looking at Henry Cavill's suit, that has loads of CGI on it. They're looking at this suit that has no CGI on it in set photos. That looks absolutely terrible. Bring back Henry Cavill. Like, get your head out your arms, please.
I'll wait and reserve. I reserve judgment until I see something.
Yeah,
absolutely. I think James Gunn will do just fine. I don't have an issue with James Gunn.
Same.
I do think that Zack Snyder is a good director, though.
Yeah. Back to James Bond, though. I do really like James Bond's movies. I think he's a cool director. I love Saw. I love Malignant, Insidious as well.
Insidious is my favorite
Conjuring.
horror movie of his.
Nice.
I don't like Conjuring too much, but not the movie Conjuring too, but like just the thing as a whole. I don't like the Conjuring too much, but like, I think they're alright. But I do really like Malignant. I love the effects in the movie. It's so cool. Like the dude, I don't know what to call him, but like the dude. What was his name in the movie? He had a name, didn't he? Jeff or something. But I'm gonna go with Jeff.
Remember.
Jeff was really cool. So yeah.
I'm Jeff.
I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, I know ever since 22 Jump Street.
Yeah. I'm Jeff.
Yeah.
But okay. Moving on to
hey, I didn't say my
sorry.
opinion yet.
Sorry. Yeah.
Oh, good. No
Malignant.
yeah, I went into Malignant, not knowing anything about it at all. So, which is the best thing to do.
Yeah.
But Malignant, I'm a huge James Bond fan. It was great to see him return to horror after being away from horror for a long time. This movie takes you places. You think it's just a straight horror film. You think it's one direction, and you really find out what's really going on here. And then the twist with Gabriel finding out he's a twin of her back of her head. It's just bonkers. And then that whole police scene right from the jail cell when he's fighting everybody in the police station. That's where it really goes bonkers.
Yes.
I thought that was awesome.
The police station scene is so good.
Yeah.
So good. It's like out of the Matrix good. Like,
yeah. Because before it was just like, you thought it was just like a normal supernatural film at that point, what he was doing. But then it just goes a totally different direction when you find out the twist and Gabriel takes over. That was like
that was his name. I was to call him Jeff, but still.
Right.
Yeah, and then even the ending was cool. Yeah, I really enjoyed Malignant. What it was in 2021. So
nice. All right, number 14 is Saw 2, which I had at 27. Flet had it 6, and Shay had it 9. So it's my fault that it's down at 14.
Oh.
Yes, we blame you, Shield. We're very angry at you now. That's disgraceful.
Look, Saw 2. I'll put it this way. I had only seen Saw 1 and Saw 2, and then Saw 5 up to um, up to just right before Saw 10 came out. Those were the only 3 that I had seen. And I had watched Saw 2 a ton of times because absolutely loved it, but I was kind of young still. And like, I went to see Saw 5 with a friend and was just like, I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm so confused. So I just never watched any other Saw films. And, but I watched the hell out of Saw 2 so much that I started to dislike it, I think. I think that's what happened because I watched it again for this and was just like, I just did not enjoy it this time. Now that could change if I wait another 3 years and rewatch them all again. I might fall back in love with Saw 2. I don't know. I just did not enjoy it this time at all.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it has to do with the way, because they went from the style that Saw 1 was, and this was their first time doing like the big traps for like a group of people. And the way that it's shot and like all the jumps and the scenes and stuff just like gave me a headache this time when I was watching it.
Yeah,
I do not like Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th sucks. I'm sorry.
But yeah,
as a franchise,
there's a few movies that I like, but as a franchise as a whole, it is awful.
Oh, good. I just want to clarify what you're talking about. Okay, yeah. Just the movie or the franchise? Okay.
Yeah. There's a few movies that I like, and I will admit there's a few movies that I like, but most of them I think are just overrated, and I don't understand how it became like some people's like absolute favorite like franchise that they'll die for.
I agree. I don't think like it. I won't even lie to you. But Saw 2, I like it. It's got some like it's got a great twist. I'm personally terrified of needles, so like that needle pit scene is so.
That's the best. That is the best scene in the movie.
Yeah,
in my opinion, the needle scene is the best scene in the movie.
But yeah, I do like this movie.
Yeah, Saw 2 was a perfect follow up to it. I really enjoyed this one. It was a great follow up to this first one. You got Dita Mayer in there, Donnie Wahlberg, and Tone Bell back, and you also got Shawnee Smith, spanning a role with Amanda. I like the performance in this. The Needle Pit definitely is the best trap of the movie, and that's just very brutal. Throw someone into the needle pit is just cruel.
Right. Yeah.
But I do really enjoy how this is edited. They think they think that this is actually going on, but the footage they're watching was from like way before, and then you find out the twist. The sun was in the same entire time. That was awesome. This is when Saw was really giving out good twists. So I really enjoyed Saw 2 for what it was. So yeah, that's my opinion on it.
Gotcha.
I could go on more, but I just wanted to keep it short.
Yeah, so. We're almost 2 hours in. We got a little bit more to go, but we are past the halfway point at least. So, all right, coming in at number 13 is Orphan. I gave it an 11. Fleck gave it a 20, and Shay gave it a 7.
Yeah.
I really like. It's just a solid movie. I don't have like. She's just a creepy kid that is just a solid all around movie. I don't really have anything negative to say about it, to be honest.
Yeah, even though it's at 20, I still really enjoy Orphan. I think the girl that plays Esther does a phenomenal job. And then you find out that she's actually an adult. She's not really a kid.
Yes.
Awesome. And then you got Vera Farmiga in here as well. She was awesome in this. Even I thought this whole movie was awesome. So I really enjoyed The Orphan.
Yeah.
And we're getting a sequel to it now too. So
yeah, we're getting Orphan 3. I pray that it's a sequel and it's not another prequel, because if it's another prequel, then what are they going to call it? They already named the other one Orphan First Kill, even though it ain't her first kill. It's a dumb title, but Okay.
Yeah.
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 Oh, I can make a
I-
whole video about dumb titles.
Beg. Okay. Yeah. Bet I'll get on that later. But yeah. So
Yeah.
the first Orphan movie is so good. Like, it's campy, it's dumb, it's got a lot of themes that it really shouldn't tackle in a dumb, campy horror movie, but it still does, and you're able to overlook them by the awesome twist. Like, that twist gets you the first time you watch the movie because you're like, what the hell? And then like other times you watch it and you see like certain characteristics and aspects that are sort of like hinting towards it throughout the movie. I'm gonna silence my notifications because I keep getting messages, but yeah, it's a really good movie.
Gotcha. So what'd you think of Orphan? Oh, you already said Foot.
Yeah. Oh, good.
I like the twist at the end. I like the child being creepy aspect of it. Yeah, it's just a solid film.
Yeah.
All right.
Way back in
So
2009, right? Wasn't it?
Yeah.
yes.
Oh, wow.
2009, 2008. I can check. I did a review for it not long ago, and it's in the title. I can just scroll the YouTube video.
There you go. All right. So we actually had a tie for number 11. Orphan First Kill and It Follows. And for Orphan First Kill, I gave it a 12. Fleck gave it a 14. Shay gave it a 10. And for It Follows, I gave it an 18. Fleck gave it a 3. And Shay gave it a 15.
So who's going first?
I'll go first again.
Right.
All right. So Orphan First Kill. I didn't quite. So I didn't actually see Orphan until right before First Kill came out, and then I watched Orphan and then watched First Kill, and so the almost back to back viewing of them, I kind of was more particular towards Orphan than First Kill, but I thought the performances in First Kill were absolutely outstanding. It's another just really solid film that doesn't really have many negatives to the film. I just didn't enjoy it quite as. It's literally, I had a hard time picking between Orphan and Orphan First Kill because I literally put them at 11 and 12.
I did the same. I put them at 9 and 10.
Yeah, and so that was my take on Orphan's First Kill. Just another solid film with not much bad to it. Doesn't really stand out though. Like, it's not like just a movie that I'd be like, oh my God, I need to watch this again kind of movie, but it's just a solid film. For It Follows. So this is one of the few movies that I actually saw back when it released in theaters. Like, so at that time I wasn't like going to theaters watching horror films all the time. And I loved it when I saw it in theaters, but the rewatch of it, I was like, oh, this movie's kind of boring. Like, it was still good, and it has an amazing concept. Like the concept of it is fantastic and creepy, and just seeing this thing just slowly walking towards you is absolutely terrifying. But it's also one of the easiest ones to survive. Compared to a lot of them, as long as you're not stupid, you know. But it would be absolutely terrifying if just you're the only one that can see it walking through the house, and you're just having to dash out the house on a whim, you know. But yeah, so that's my take on those.
Yeah, Orphan's First Kill. Yeah, Orphan's First Kill. Yeah, she does another phenomenal performance as Esther. The killers are great. Even the twist with the family, when you find out about the twist from their perspective, was very cool. But about what was about their daughter, so that twist they kind of throw in there. But it was another solid flick in the Orphan franchise, and I do like the score when she's driving the car and it plays Maniac. Is it the Maniac that plays?
Sure, I don't remember.
Oh, whatever song plays anyway, I thought was very cool when she's driving. I mean, even the ending was pretty cool. So I do think her performance makes this movie again. So.
Oh yeah.
And with It Follows, it was one of my favorite movies of the 2010s. I think the opening is very genius because it pays homage to Halloween at the beginning, but you don't know what she's running from. It's a genius opening, and then you find her all messed up on the beach, all messed up. And
Yes.
like, geez, what happened to her? And you find out what the concept. The concept's pretty cool. I think Mika Marone's amazing in it. I liked her in Long Legs as well.
Oh
But
Yeah.
And I'm excited for the sequel. They Follows to see where it goes. I mean, the pool
Absolutely.
scene's the pool scene's a lot of fun. So yeah, that's my take on it. Before I say, I got to interview the art director of It Follows. Just
nice.
throw a little plug in there.
That's awesome.
Yeah. For me, I like both the movies. I'd say I like All from First Kill more than It Follows, but It Follows is still really solid. I think I made a joke about it, like in my video. I said like it's solid in like both ways because it's an STD movie. But if you catch my drift, but yeah, I think it's a cool movie. I love the concept. I think the score's great, and then All from First Kill. Once again, it's just another great movie. It doesn't really have any problems with it. It's just the fire at the end of the movie was really cool. That sequence where she's walking through the house with the fire, that was sick. And I love how they still got Isabel Thurman to play Esther, despite the fact that she's now a grown woman. They didn't use like CGI. They used forced perspective shots and stunt doubles to make her look younger.
They pulled a Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was great. Yeah. Absolutely. All right. Getting into our top 10. Number 10 is... Huh?
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but this is where it gets dangerous.
Yeah, right. Number 10 is X. Fitting. I had X at number 3, and both of you had it at 16.
Jeepers.
So that's
imagine you guys lied today.
That's how much of a I made such a huge difference because y'all had it at 16. I brought it up 6 spots from where y'all had it with my number 3 pick. I forced it into the top 10. Okay.
It's like, I'm forcing it in there.
But yeah, one of y'all go ahead.
Oh, I'll start off this time. So yeah, X, I went no expectations at all with this one. I didn't really watch any marketing about this. It just came out of nowhere. Seen the trailer, that was it. But I was a huge Ty West fan because of House of the Devil, so I already knew about Ty West. But X was an awesome movie. Definitely the strongest out. Well, I definitely one of the more strongest. Definitely in the movie. Depends what you put Pearl or X. But X was a fun film. It pays homage to those 70s horror films, especially Texas Chainsaw. You got Mia Goth, phenomenal actress. She played the double role, Maxxxine, and then of course the older version of Pearl. And the kills were great, and especially the final act was a lot of fun. I like how Pearl tries to shoot her, but it backfires on her, and she flies out of the house. And then, of course, Maxxxine runs her over with the truck. And then we got Jenna Ortega in here. So, but no, X was a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed it, and for sure.
So, for me, I also really enjoy X. It's a great movie. The kills are fun. It's got something I learned the other day. It doesn't have Kid Cudi in the movie. Sippin told me that. I completely forgot that he was in the movie. But he's in the movie. It's got Jenna Ortega. Mia Goth is great as both Pearl and the lead.
Maxxxine.
I've completely forgotten her name. And as I like streams, it's a great movie for the whole family. A bunch of people going out to make a cool movie. Fun times.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So for X, this was in 2022, so it was right as I was starting to really get my channel going. And I'd started in 21, but I really amped it up in 22 and watched just a ton of 2022 movies. And X kind of came out of nowhere. And I really thought I was shocked at how good it was. It blew my mind how good it was, because everybody thought that. Like, nobody really knew that it was going to be just this crazy slasher film. So that was my first time seeing Mia Goth as well. So her as an actor, like, just killing it. And then you get that first kill in front of the truck where she just bashes that dude's head in.
Yeah.
And that just starts it off, and it just goes wild from there. And yeah, Mia Goth and Jenna Ortega, like, is just an amazing cast on this as well. One of my favorite slasher movies ever made.
Yeah, and I also love that she feeds her victims to the alligators.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right. But who's more insane, Pearl or Freddy? I mean, as far as insanity goes, probably Pearl. She's a broken human. She's completely broken. You see that in the movie Pearl. Just go into this psychotic break. But all right. Coming in at number 9 is Saw, the original. This is so low because of me. I had it at 23. What had it at 2, and Shay had it at 6. Yeah.
Well, you can start. You can, you put it
Okay.
low.
It's James Wan. His movies are just boring to me. I love the fact that this movie kind of created a new subgenre and kind of kickstarted horror back into gear, because it had gotten so slow as far as okay.
Oh, your dog. Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
no, wait, your cat. Is
It's
that your cat?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
He's doing his thing.
Pay attention to me. I don't care if you're doing a stream. Pay attention to me.
Right. So with the original Saw, I do appreciate what it is. I appreciate what it did for the genre. It's just James Wan movies are so boring to me, except Tokyo Drift. I could watch Tokyo Drift every day, and it'd be great.
Yeah. For me, I love this first Saw movie. I love Carrie Owens. I love bloody hell, what's his name?
Lee Winnell?
Lee Winnell. I don't think he's the best actor, but his delivery is really funny at some points. It's got some like lines which are like funny, not just from Lee Winnell, just in general, which I don't think are meant to be funny, but I just find funny. It's like the Lawrence Gordon, I'm a doctor. Thank you for letting us know. But
yeah,
good to know. Good to know. You know, we're still on opposite sides of the room. It's not like you're gonna be any help if he suddenly starts dying. But yeah, I think the kills in the movie are alright. It's not the best of the franchise by any means, but it's still got loads of gore. Like the reverse bear trap scene is great, even if it's not actually used. It just the bit where she's just like cutting into the guy frantically, searching for the key through his intestines and everything. That's really cool.
Yeah, Saw from 2004, introduced us to James Wan and started the Saw franchise. What a perfect concept, just to start in a room where these guys are tied from the handcuffed from their legs from each side of the room. Lee Winnell, he played Adam in this. He went to go direct Invisible Man and now the Wolfman movie. So
yep.
But no, Saw, it was also great to see Danny Glover in a horror film. Danny Glover was in here. I thought
Yep.
his character was awesome. You know, and I love the fact they made you think this guy was that one guy, Michael Emerson, who's from Lost,
Yeah,
was
exactly.
the villain the whole entire time. But then you get that awesome twist where props to Tobin Bell to actually lay on the floor the whole entire time between each take.
Oh yeah.
And then rise up, and you're like, no, that the Jigsaw was in the room the whole entire time.
Exactly.
I remember the reactions with this. And then the iconic score kicks in, and of course he gets game over and then shuts the door on him. And Adam's like, no.
Yeah.
And then that's how it ends. But no, Saw X, what else? Saw, what else can you say about it? It's an iconic movie, and it started a franchise that we watched every year. And if it wasn't for this, we wouldn't be talking about Saw X. But
Exactly.
Yeah.
but
Like
Saw,
I said, I respect it. That's
for
just
sure.
not for me.
Yeah, for sure. Great great cast, and what a cool concept. And I can't believe it's 22 years ago. Cheapers.
Right.
But yeah, great movie.
Yeah, I was 16 when the movie came out.
Yeah, I remember when this came out, especially at the time you didn't have the internet really back then. You didn't know anything about anything. And when it did the previews, like, whoa, what's this movie? So
Exactly. All right. Did you go, Shay?
yeah, did you go?
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't sure.
I couldn't remember. All right. Coming in at number 8 is It Part 1, which I had at number 6. Flet had it number 12, and Shay had it 11. And it's just a damn good movie.
Yeah. It's a pretty good movie, yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, I know I prefer Tim Curry's, but I still think Bill Skarsgård did an awesome job with his Pennywise.
See, okay.
Yeah.
I have the biggest issue as we progress. This is unfortunate, but as we progress, the effect that old visuals and audio give us is not as effective as things as technology progresses. So for me to like rewatch the old It with Tim Curry, like it's just not as effective as far as like scaring me. There's nothing scary about it to me, at least.
Oh no, it's not scary, but I still think his performance is great.
His performance is fantastic. Now, if like he could have played this Pennywise, like when he was that, like if he was that age playing this Pennywise, I think it actually could have been better than what we ended up getting. But I still love Bill Skarsgård's Pennywise as well.
And the kid's cast was perfectly casted once again.
Oh yeah,
amazing.
Come on, man. You're just determined, aren't you?
But why? I want to say hi to you.
But yeah, I don't have pretty much everything up from here. I don't have anything bad to say. Well, no, I do have a couple of.
What's the negatives? What's the negatives?
So for It Part 1, I don't have. Dude. Dude, you gotta find something else to do, man. So It Part 1 negatives are probably going to be just the end of the movie. Just every part, the rest of the movie is just amazing. The ending just kind of falls a little flat. It was okay. It wasn't bad by any means. It just was a little flat compared to the rest of the movie.
Beep beep, Richie.
This is Bruce. This is Bruce. He's named after Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. It Chapter 1's a pretty good movie. I just find the CGI kind of annoying at some points, like with the shaky effect.
Yes.
And with him doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why that was. thrown in there.
Yeah. They just the best part, one of my favorite scenes is whenever he's talking with Richie's brother's like puppet body and then just like slams it into the water. Like
Yeah.
I freaking love that scene.
You thought Henry Jeep, and and Henry was dark in the original, but he got dark in this too.
Yes.
And this time they actually show him cutting this stomach. So
Oh yeah.
Jesus.
No, it's crazy. But yeah, I really don't have much else to say about it. Did you talk, Shay?
Yeah.
Flit? Did you, Flit?
Yeah, just to keep it short. Yeah, great cast. I thought what they did was, awesome for sure. So,
all right. Well, coming in at number 7 is Trick or Treat.
ooh.
I had it at 4. Flet had it at 5, and Shay had it at 13. Now, Shay, tell me why you hate this movie.
I don't hate this movie. I just don't believe it's my fault.
Oh my god!
See, that's what you get for saying that. But no, I enjoy this movie. I love Sam, and I'm excited if they ever actually get around to making a sequel in 30 years.
Yeah. Oh yeah. If they make a sequel, I don't know if it could live up to the amount of like hype that people have at this point. If they would have just made a sequel immediately after the movie came out, it would have probably, or a couple years after, it would have had some hype, but not to the point that it is now. It's become such a cult classic that it's got too much hype, and I don't know if it can live up to the hype, to be honest with you. Even if it's good, I don't know if it can live up to the hype.
As for me, it's Trick or Treat's one of my favorite horror anthologies. I think it's done well.
It's my favorite horror anthology.
Awesome.
Yeah,
it's definitely one of my favorites up there with Creepshow. I really enjoyed this movie. I think Quinn Lord does an awesome job as Sam. I think my favorite segment is, you remember when they try to pull a prank on that girl with the ghost kids with the bus, but then she turns the tables on them, Karma.
Yes.
I also love the effects in the werewolf scene when you find out all those girls are like all these werewolves. I think
Bruce, come on, man. Yes,
that's pretty cool. And then they bring all the stories together at the end, and then the reveal of Sam's face was pretty cool. And then he uses the sucker to kill you.
Give me just one. I'm going to try to feed this cat and see if maybe he'll.
Yeah.
Leave me
alone. Okay.
I've got 3 cats, but he's the only one bothering me. Give me 1 second.
All right. We're taking over. It's our stream now.
Yeah. All right. So here's what we're gonna do. So since he doesn't have his headphones on right now, what we're gonna do is when he comes back, we're gonna make it look like we're chatting shit about him.
Oh. Okay.
So when he comes back, just. All right, wait a second.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I mean, yeah, he sucks, right? Doesn't he? Yeah, he's just really annoying.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
I'm terrible. I'm the worst human being.
You get on my nerves. No, I'm just kidding. We're all only teasing.
Oh, I can't. I can't. Listen, you want me to get on your nerves, boy?
Oh, I probably could get on your nerves too.
Man.
Oh yeah, that's personal. That's good. I probably can get your guys on your guys' nerves too. I'll say something like, "That's it. Get up." No, I love the fact that we can all have fun though. Even though sometimes we have different opinions on movies, we can all have fun and respect each other's opinions and have fun here for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like I said, if we're all the same, it would be boring as hell conversation.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, like I said, Trick or Treat, the way it ends too, and then you find out that Brian Cox was the bus driver. So yeah, I like the every single thing. It was pretty cool how they brought the stories together. So that's all.
Shay, smell my feet. Trick or treat.
I already said the thing at the beginning.
Oh, you did. That's right.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I forgot.
So Trick or Treat for me is my favorite anthology film ever made. I'm not just a huge fan of most anthology films because they're not. There's always 1 or 2 stories typically in them that I just don't care for. But that's not the case with Trick or Treat. I like every single story in Trick or Treat. I think my favorite one is whenever the serial killer has the head in the basement with his son, and they're carving the pumpkin, and it's the other kid's head. Like,
and he was trying to bury him alive too.
The old man, like, and how everything ties together. I don't think like, I don't understand how Sam got as just like prolific as he did, because he's just kind of in the movie at a few points. I think it's of course because of the aesthetic. His aesthetic is what did it. But hopefully if they do ever do another movie, they can like put a little more love for Sam in there as well. That'll be great. But yeah, I don't have anything bad to say about Trick or Treat. I absolutely love the movie.
Yeah,
it's a really good like Halloween season movie too. It really fits that Halloween October month.
Oh yeah, all the jack-o'-lanterns in that girl's yard, like just everything about the movie is just it's a must watch for the Halloween season. I watch it every year for Halloween, at least in October sometime.
Definitely.
All right, so coming in at number 5, we have another tie. It is between Saw X and Thanksgiving. So for Saw X, I had it at 8, Flet had it at 9, and Shay had it at 4. And then for Thanksgiving, I had it at 7, Flet had it at 11, and Shay had it at 3.
So Saw X Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Saw X. Oh, I really enjoyed Saw X, and this is Tobin Bell's best performance as John Kramer by far. And that's saying a lot because he did an amazing performance over the years. But this is his best performance. I love the story arc. That's more like you get to see him for the whole entire movie this time too, in general. And I like to find they find a villain that matches him. You know what I mean? The villain that that tricks him in doing the surgery. And it's great. It was great to see Amanda come back. Johnny Smith back as Amanda was awesome. You guys can still hear me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just hear an echo for some reason. Yeah, I thought the traps were pretty brutal. The scene where remember where he puts himself in danger with the kid. Then they're doing that trap with each other. That was crazy. But I love the fact that we finally got the iconic twist again. I wish that one trap though wasn't a dream sequence. You remember with the eyes, but it ended up being a dream sequence where he was thinking about it.
Oh yes.
I thought that was cool, but he was thinking about it. Then you get that awesome twist where he turns the tables on her the entire time. It was cool. And I'd like to find they found a villain that you can match. I mean, maybe it wasn't just like whatever. And I love the fact that they made him more like really good character in this, and that he got got scammed. And you're like, why would you scam John Kramer? And then I know we all been saying about Hoffman, but I do like his line though in the credits when he says, all the people you chose to cheat, you chose John Kramer.
Yeah.
I do like that line. Despite us not liking Hoffman, I do like that line. And then what they do with him at the end, it was karma. It was like satisfying because why would you do that? And it was great to see these guys back, and Saw X I really enjoyed. It brought us back to why we love Saw in the first place.
Absolutely.
And then with
Thanksgiving,
I'm not a fan of all Eli Roth films. I'm gonna be honest.
Same.
But I really enjoyed Thanksgiving. This was like a fun slasher film. I really liked the effects. I don't know why it made me laugh. Remember when the lady's getting into the dumpster and the car hits it and she just cuts in half. I laughed. Even the Black Friday scene was bonkers.
Oh, the Black Friday scene is so good.
Yeah, I did guess the villain right off the bat. I'm like, okay, if you're getting Patrick Dempsey in here, he's got to have a big row. and I did see it coming. But it was great to see him in a horror film again. So I really enjoyed Thanksgiving. It was a fun time, and you find out he's the villain and the way he goes out, and I can't wait to see what the second one does. Yeah, this was a fun slasher film. Like I said, I'm not a fan of Eli Roth film, but it's a fun slasher film.
Yeah. Myself, I love Saw X. It's such a good entry for the 10th entry. It's amazing. Tobin Bell gives probably his best performance ever. Career-worthy performance of John Kramer there. Amazing. I love that movie, and even like the twist was really cool. Thanksgiving, another great. Or I do love a lot of Eli Roth movies because it's my kind of movie. You know, I love a good bit of gore. I even watched that kids movie that he made back like in like 2017 or something. But like,
oh yeah,
I like Thanksgiving. It's got a lot of good kills. The acting was pretty good, surprisingly, for them having like a TikToker as one of the leads. But yeah, it was pretty good.
All right. Before I get started, I like Scream and Ice Cream. I will say, if you want to start making videos, honestly, just 100% do it. If you go back and watch any of my old videos, it's a bunch of stuttering, it's a bunch of ums and uhs and no editing whatsoever. It's best to just get started. As you can tell, I'm going by Mr. Hot Take now. Like, I literally just changed my name on a whim because you're not stuck. If you want to just do it, do it. It's really just a matter of just sitting down and making it happen. Even if you're scared, because I like every time I put a video out, every single time, I'm nervous as to if it's just going to get downvoted and no upvotes, and people are going to hate it. And there are videos that I've put out that literally only have downvotes on them. So it's absolutely just take a chance, man.
yeah. As long as you have your passion and just have your passion, whatever you want to talk about, it doesn't matter if you want. This just matters if you can sit in front of camera and discuss it. But keep your passion out. Don't worry about anyone else. Just go and say what you want, wherever talk, and then it'll go from there. And just like I know, my first time I was a little tough doing the very first video, but I just kept my passion going. I wanted to find a platform where I wanted to, discuss my favorite films and interview my favorite people, which I have done, and just like even the bigger YouTubers, they had started like that way too.
Mm-hmm.
So just put your passion out there and go from there for sure.
That, and so I will say this too. I started this channel, and I wasn't getting the reactions from people that I wanted. I wasn't getting comments. That's really what I was after, was people commenting, and then we could have a back and forth. There was just no interaction. So I got dejected and just kind of stopped for almost a year. And Shay had talked to me a few times before. We had done a live once before, or we just did a video once before, and he did an interview with me, but we didn't really know each other. He liked the videos that I put out and talked to me about them, and so I stopped, and he reached out to me and was just like, "Hey man, I see you're not making videos. Like, do you want to join this Discord with me and some friends? And maybe that'll get you back in the mood to pick it back up again." And it was because Shay did that, and I jumped in with a bunch of these guys like Sip and Ice and Horror and all of them that pushed me to start making videos again. And the best thing that you can do is just surround yourself with people that they don't even have to be hype men. They don't have to hype you up, but just people that are like, "Hey, make another video. Hey, make another video." It's fun. Just make another video. If you don't like the video, if it's not getting you can always private it.
Yeah. And just have fun with it, and don't ever focus just on the numbers and clicks. They will come. If you just focus on that part, don't be doing YouTube. Just have fun with it, have your passion, and they will come.
Absolutely.
For sure.
All right. Sorry, we're at 2.5 hours.
That's okay.
So we'll go ahead and we got 4 more movies. Oh, Saw X and Thanksgiving for me. Saw X, best Saw movie ever made. Absolutely can't wait for number 11 to come out. I loved that it felt like just a normal movie in the beginning of it and made you forget that it was a Saw film until all of a sudden you're back in a Saw trap and you're like, oh crap, it like jars you back into remembering, oh crap, this is a Saw movie. And then as far as Thanksgiving goes, it was an absolute pleasure. One of my favorite actors from a Saw, he was one of my favorite characters in a show called Suits. He plays a character called Louis Litt. I forget what the actor's name is, but he's the dad that actually owns the store. Rick, is it his name? I don't remember his name, the actor's name, but
Rick Hoffman.
Is it Rick Hoffman? Okay. Absolutely love Rick Hoffman. I wish there would have been more of him in the movie.
Yeah.
To be honest. But
Yeah,
I Thanksgiving was so good, and it was one I got to actually enjoy in theaters too. Even though there were people being stupid in the theater the whole damn time.
Oh, really? You got
The
those
whole
people?
time? Yeah, the whole time. Okay, moving on to number 4 is Sinister, which I had at 14. Flet had it 1, and Shay had it 5.
Nice.
So since it's your number 1, Flet,
What's with the Sinister hate?
I'll tell you in a minute. Since it's your number 1,
I'm
Flet,
number 1. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm gonna let you
I was going
start
to talk
it.
like all Pleasant from Escape from New York. No, I had it at number 1 because I think it's one of my favorite movies of all time and one of my favorite movies of the 2010s. I think the collab with Ethan Hawke and Scott Derrickson nailed it out of the park. It's one of the creepiest, scariest films ever, I think. The lawnmower scene is bonkers. And especially when he's walking from his perspective, he's seeing the victims die, but they're pulled into the pool. I think the boogie character's scary. They think they can leave the house at the end, but nope, it followed them. And then when the daughter gets evil and then drugs him and the family and kills him, and you get that jump with the boogeyman was cool. And then the way that the credit score is very cool. That song that plays is awesome. I really enjoy Sinister. It's one of my favorites movies of 2010s and 2013 for sure. So that's why I had number 1.
All right. Shay.
For me, I love Sinister. It's a great movie. The Super 8 segments are so cool. Even right off the beginning, it just sets a grim tone, and I love it. Scott Derrickson was great. It's awesome.
So my thoughts on Sinister and why I have it ranked at 14th on this list is that I think that there are so many movies that I've seen that scared me a lot more than Sinister did.
Yeah.
And it got all this hype. Like there was like doctors coming out saying they hooked people up to stuff and saying it's the scariest movie of all time. And I think a lot of that kind of gave me like, I have this thing inside me where if people hype it up too much, I'm like, fuck that.
I don't know why people do that. They did that with Long Legs too.
Yeah.
Like seriously.
But I felt like it got a little overhyped, and there are parts of the movie that are even though there's a lot of really cool segments in the movie, there's also a lot of really boring downtime in the movie, and my brain does not like
I can see that.
Yeah,
I understand that.
Yeah. I have a brain, a Neanderthal brain, that it's like, I need stuff now happen.
I need stuff to keep me going here.
Yeah.
I understand.
Entertain me, I have that. Are you not entertained? No, I'm not. Entertain me. Right. And But Sinister, it has really amazing moments in it, which is why it's still so high on my list. It's it's above the middle line.
And that's so cool when I heard when Scott Derrickson and Ethan Hawke reunited for the Black Phone. So
Yes. Oh man.
Yeah.
And I love Ethan Hawke, and that's but I just felt like it was just a little too overhyped. But
I get what you're saying. It was overhyped for sure. I don't know why people do that. I'm just like, I don't listen to that crap anymore. I'm just like, I'll go watch and see how I see it. I'm just like, I don't listen to that hype anymore.
Exactly. But all right. Coming in at number 3 is Pearl. Because of me.
How surprising.
I had Pearl at number 1. Blet and Shay both had it at number 8.
Oh wow.
Yeah, y'all had a lot that were identical. But
Great minds think alike.
Yep, definitely.
I'm Mr. Hot Take.
What can I say?
No. So I'll start it off since it's my number 1. This is actually one of my favorite horror movies ever made, even though it's probably could be more closely classified to like a thriller or a psychological thriller. But I see a lot of those as horror movies. I know some people don't classify them that way, but I do. So with Pearl, what I love about the movie is it is one of the clearest cut looks at the start. It's like a true villain origin story that we don't even get from like DC or Marvel. Like we get to see the start of a villain just slowly start to break and become like crack, and just we get to follow that trail into madness with them, and you don't get that very often. And then all of this culminates into one of the best monologues ever given on film. And
there's something in there.
Like, and then that turns into a chase scene that you're just like, holy shit, at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden her husband comes home from the war that she thinks might be dead, and he's finally home, and she just gives this crazy smile and holds it for an entire minute.
It's because
it's
because actually waiting for Ty West to say cut.
Yeah.
He left it that way.
Exactly. And it's so good. It is one of the best performances I've ever seen from anybody. It truly shows what Mia Goth is capable of, and I just absolutely love that.
That's why it kind of made me think she could play a young Pamela Voorhees.
Perfect. Dude, if they got hers, Pamela Voorhees, I'm down. And I don't even like Friday the 13th.
For sure.
If they could make me like the movie, or if they did it on the show that they're doing. Cat. We're almost done anyway. It's fine. I guess you can stay there. But yeah, y'all go ahead. Pearl.
Oh, okay. Pearl. It's amazing we got a prequel in the same year of X. That was just amazing. And Pearl was a phenomenal, I think, one of the best performances of Mia Goth. It was always like Wizard of Oz meets Texas Chainsaw or something like that, like a horror film with The Guest or something like that. I like of course she's she's dealing with her husband being away, and and then she's also dealing with her parents, that definitely one of the best monologues ever put on screen. Yeah. And then she goes and kills her sister-in-law because she got the part right.
Yeah.
So, and then the way the camera is out when she just slowly walks out, and then comes after, the way the camera pans on her chasing her with the axe, and she catches up to her, kills her off. Wow. And then of course, like you said, you get that famous where she's holding, where just comes home and shows up, and she's holding
the smile.
It's a smile. Yeah, I really enjoyed Pearl for sure. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I agree. Pearl is amazing. The monologue is so good, and it's probably Mia Goth's best performance. I did like her in, I believe it's called Infinity Pool as well.
Yeah.
She was good in that.
That
She's
movie
good in
just
everything. I
pushes
hope,
the boundaries sometimes.
yeah, I hope she's good in Blade if that ever even films. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, Pearl's a great movie. I do really enjoy it. It's a great film.
All right. Well, moving on to number 2 is Terrifier 2.
That's pretty funny. It's Terrifier 2 and it's number 2.
And me and Shay both had it at 2, and Flet had it at 10.
I know it should have been higher, but whatever.
So why do you hate this movie?
I love this movie.
What?
It should have been higher. I don't know why I thought it when I made this list. But anyway, I know you're just teasing me.
Yeah.
But Terrifier 2, it had more character development. I still think it creates its best, I agree with Terrifier 2 created one of its greatest well-written female protagonists ever with Leanna. Lauren does a phenomenal job in there. It had of course it was 2 hours, but it was meant to be 2 hours. It didn't feel like 2 hours when you watched this movie, though. It just went through once it went out there. David Howard back as Art the Clown, just as even more amazing. Especially the scene when he's trying out the glasses and Lauren's Leanna's looking out the other way at the cashier, and he's just putting out each of these glasses just to be funny. And then he slowly walks like this and honks the horn. And then he ends up killing the cashier later on.
Yeah. No.
What the heck are you doing, bro?
That's probably, that whole scene is probably my favorite scene.
Yeah. And then, of course, you got Casey Harden in here. And then she, the bedroom scene does go a little long. My goodness, she just suffers. And then he's throwing salt and stuff on her back, and ripping her open, and she's still alive. I don't know how, but it's a Terrifier film. And Leanna and Jonathan's got to take on Art, and then even the little girl. The little girl that that Art sees. She does a great job too. That's dressed as Art.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I think the scene when they fight him and then she gets the sword and cuts his head off. What an ending! So, Terrifier 2, had a bigger budget, bigger production, better story than Terrifier. But I really enjoyed Terrifier 2. It was a lot of fun. It didn't feel like 2 hours because it needed that timeline, but it didn't feel like it because it just went quick. And then you get a little cameo from wrestling legend Chris Jericho in this. And then you see Victoria, where her Art's head comes from, where it comes from. She gives birth to his head. It's crazy. Yeah. What an ending! I really enjoyed it too.
You want to go next?
For me, I love Terrifier 2. It's got some great effects. It's got some amazing acting. I love David Tyler Thornton. I love Lauren Rivera. Great addition to the franchise there. I feel Jonathan is kind of wasted in both these movies, frankly. In this one, he's kind of just like the Daphne character, a damsel in distress. And then in the next one, well, we'll get to that because it's obvious what number 1 is now. But yeah.
Yes. So for Terrifier 2, it's funny you mentioned Chris Jericho, because once it got to Terrifier 3, I was like, oh God, he's really not a good actor.
No.
But
he was like the butt of this movie, like Bud from Halloween 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. And but for Terrifier 2, I love like all the dream sequences are just so out there and just wacky. I kind of wish that they would have stuck with the more like fantasy type style stuff for Terrifier 3 instead of going back to like the more Terrifier 1 feel. and made it more like tried to make it more like visceral and gritty and grindhousey. I liked the more like fantastical feel of Terrifier 2 than I did of Terrifier 3.
Yeah.
And so it is what it is, man. So it is what it is. We'll call it what we want, man. So threw me off. So for Terrifier 2, all the fantasy elements of it, the storyline, and it actually having a storyline now. Sienna is an amazing protagonist. You get all these really visceral, like crazy kills. The whole scene in the gag shop or whatever, whenever she's getting her costume, all of that is just great. When he's just walking up and honks his horn at her every once in a while, slowly. All that's fantastic. It has okay. It doesn't have to fly for you, man. So
You okay?
no, I'm good. So all the kills are just crazy over the top. It's Art the Clown being Art the Clown, just with more, and it was amazing.
Yeah, I agree. Terrifier 2 is a great movie. So what's number one?
Who are you?
Anyway.
Yeah, I am a huge fan of 31 on 31. Are you Cody Leach?
No, Cody Leach only uses one profile, by the way.
I think he might have. You named it. Are you Sean or Brian, Sean, CP, Cody, and CP? Or Brian? Okay. Well, it was an homage to y'all. I'm a huge fan. I just watched all five 31 on 31s last night. Yeah.
Should we get to number one then?
Yeah. We'll get to number one, and okay.
Who cares who made it?
Okay. Anyway. So man, if you'd like to reach out to me, I'll give you my details if you want to talk about it. If you don't mind just letting us finish this last little bit.
Let's just do our number one, please.
Anyway, number one is Terrifier 3.
So do you want to go first or someone else?
I can start it for us if you want to.
Sure.
Yeah. So Terrifier 3, you know, I watched it twice this month. So yeah, I watched it twice just to get perspective for this. But yeah, Terrifier 3 I think it's my favorite of the trilogy. You know, set around Christmas time. I don't know why people were shocked that he was going to kill kids. He did in All Hallows Eve. It wasn't shocking to me, but it was so cool to see him dressed as Santa Claus. That was cool. The opening was crazy. But I do think one of the funniest scenes though is when he sees Santa Claus, his reaction when he sees Santa Claus in the bar, gets so excited. Then he ends up killing him anyway. Because we get awesome cameos from, you know, you got Clint Howard in there. Tom Savini was cool. Lauren, I give her best performance as Leanna. She was amazing too, but she was amazing in 3. Yeah, you don't really see Jonathan much in this one, but the kills were just as brutal. You get Victoria, you know, you get to really see Victoria's performance in this. Samantha does an amazing job as Victoria. The ending, and even that chainsaw scene in the shower was very brutal. But the ending though, when he has Leanna tied to the chair, I love how Dave Father Fortune improvised to him slapping her a few times when he walks by. It was pretty funny. And I even like the little girl's performance. That's Leanna's, you know, what's her name? Who plays the little girl that she thought got killed off, but she survived? The little girl that disappears at the end. What's her name? Yeah, and then geez, the rat scene was gross, but I can when they're putting down the rat down her mouth. And then, you know, Leanna takes him out, kills Victoria, puts Art the clown against the wall, and then ends like that. And of course, the girl gets taken away, but then I like how it ended. Yeah, Terrifier 3 is definitely my favorite out of the trilogy for sure. It was a lot of fun. Like, yeah, like I said, it was. I even guessed what when he was dressed as a Santa Claus clown, Santa Claus as the Santa Claus, and then the kid was opening up thing. I was like, is that a bomb? I guessed it, and of course it blew up. So, yeah, Terrifier 3 was a lot of fun. So,
yeah, it's a great movie. I love the Christmas setting. Everything about it is just a lot of fun. Down to like just like the acting and everything. I think that Lauren Rivera gives like a great performance. Her acting has definitely improved from the last one, even though she did a great performance in that one as well.
Absolutely. No, Terrifier 3 was really good. I had a really good time with it. I still like Terrifier 2 more, but you know,
yeah,
I really did enjoy Terrifier 3. I'm really excited to see where Terrifier 4 takes it in the future. But anyway, Well, that was it, man.
Yeah, thanks for having us on.
Yeah, thanks for
Yeah,
having us, Doug,
absolutely.
man. It was a fun collab what I did with you guys, and I can't wait for
Thanks, guys.
March's for sure.
Yeah, you know, to the 5 people that watched, and not, you know, just us having a good time and having fun, and not really trying to make a big deal out of it or anything. You know,
Yeah, really, for
We're just-
sure. It's not a big deal anyway.
yeah, we were just having a good time. I was paying respect, and it's in the description of the, you know, of people that, I mean, I didn't put everybody's profile in the description. I did put Cody's in there, and sorry to CP if he's still in here, but I will change the description. I'll add all 5 of you in there. I do apologize, but this was really just me and some friends just having a good time, and me like paying an homage to something that I really like. I have 126 followers. It's not a big
Well,
deal.
you did your own thing, and people do it all the time. You do their own versions of people. Who cares who did it first?
Yeah,
it's having fun here.
But anyway, thanks for coming, guys.
Yeah.
Y'all have a good night.
Good night,
Yeah,
everyone.
thanks for having us on.
Thanks.